No.
We are now streaming.
What?
What? Look at that shit. Watch me put this on my lips.
What?
Watch me put this on my lips.
What are you doing?
I keep forgetting to buy more chapstick, so I'm extricating it from.
He's
the
CarMaxing
tube.
it.
CarMax, like where you can buy cars.
Yeah.
Well, well.
Just took a turn.
God damn. Did you know that
he said
BMFcast
CarMax.
just went live?
A hot diggity dog.
What? Bad Movie Fiends just went live. I like your Spoilcast 008. That's pretty optimistic.
That's how we numbered the previous ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. I appreciate the optimism. Just think if we do one every 5 years, I don't even know how many it would take to get to Spoilcast 100.
A few. 92 times 5. 468.
So,
What? Wait.
it's a few generations. No big. No big, man.
It's more than that, but yeah.
480.
No big.
Yeah. It won't take long at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No sweat.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah. Oh, well, see ya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
Run away, cat. Run away.
Get on out of here now.
Hey, would you grab me a beverage while you're up?
Like,
Dr. Peppers are open, so I'll take one of those.
yeah, Captain Hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rockstar.
No. That's,
Yeah.
it's a bit much.
Do it.
No, man.
It's a bit much.
The crash will be even better.
It's Jurassic World, whatever it's called,
What?
themed.
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom. It's got a dinosaur on it.
Dino DNA.
You handed me a T-Rex. Bang a gong. Get it on. Love that Trex.
Oh, that's who that guy was.
I just want to play along too with the doing bad impressions of each other.
Good.
I appreciated the mini Watchmen reunion we had going on here. Just hoping for at least one more to show up.
There's just two of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was who was what guy? Who was the guy you?
The paramilitary guy.
Oh, Joe Magliano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Kind
was
of.
not.
There
in
were at
Watchmen.
least 3 people in this movie the camera treated like, oh, it's that guy. And then I was like, I don't know who that is.
Magliano. I don't know.
The guy from whatever the newest Pee Wee movie was.
Yes, where he was playing himself.
Yeah. That's not what he's known for.
Well,
He's great in it.
but it's kind of
He's so committed. It's so good.
It's kind of funny that he was fighting the wolf. Is all I gotta say.
Why?
He was a wolf man.
He was.
Monster of blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a wolf man.
Sorry, spoilers.
A wolf man. Hi, Internet. How are you?
Oh, hey, yeah, we're on the internet.
Are we?
Are we?
He was Flash Thompson in the Sam Raimi.
Spider-Man's 1
Spider-Man's.
and 3.
Yeah, he did not make an appearance in 2.
No.
Spider's man.
The Spearsman.
Frank Spiderman.
He was also Big Dick Richie in the 2 Magic Mike movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Good old BDR.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've
Why'd they call him that?
It's one of those ironic nicknames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a micro penis.
Joe Magnia
Joe
shows up at the door. He's like, "Oh, excuse me." Yeah.
Boom. Beg to differ. Then just walks out. Breaks the table in half.
He's like, "You got us, Joe."
Yeah.
Dude.
Well played, Joe.
Yeah.
Well played.
Thanks. Thanks, Joe. Please go away.
We take it back. All right. Man, we could fill out some trivia right now.
Let's do it.
Did you know?
Did you know that?
These characters appeared in Watchmen and also Rampage together.
Just make a list of every person who auditioned for the Rock's role.
Yeah.
These
The
people
Rock.
were considered to be for the lead character. Kurt Russell. Just every person of the era.
The Rock.
Joey Pants. That would have been good. That movie would have been pretty good.
Good old J Pants. Japants.
Yes, Japan's.
I like that the writer from Lost is now just writing rock action movies.
Hey, man, I bet they pay well.
Yeah.
Tweedly-dee-lee-dee. 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 Tweedly-dee-lee-dee.
Let's spoil the shit out of this.
Hey, Steve. Bye, Steve. So we're going to do like a couple minutes of not spoilery talk? And, Okay.
Yeah, we'll just say it's a monkey movie.
Right.
April.
It's got the rock,
Yeah.
monkey,
Yeah.
a wolf, and a...
Oh, there it is. There's the trivia. Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Malin Ackerman previously starred together in Watchmen, 2009.
Watchmen.
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 Both Dwayne Johnson and Jeffrey Dean Morgan were in a Star Trek series. Johnson was the champion in Star Trek Voyager, and Morgan was Xindi Reptilian in Star Trek Enterprise.
Hey, fuck you, guy. Who wrote that?
Why?
That's harsh.
The Rock was in Star Trek Voyager.
I
He
know.
was. He played a
As
wrestler.
The champion.
Yeah.
How was he?
It was a real dumb SmackDown crossover episode of Star Trek Voyager on the UPN.
Man, UPN. I loved working for UPN.
They did not give a fuck.
They greenlit Secret Diary of Desmond Pfeiffer,
Yeah, they did.
as well as Shasta McNasty.
Mm-hmm. And Homeboys from Outer Space.
Those shows aired on television.
They did, yeah.
That's one of those
Like
things where,
earnestly, like here's something for you to enjoy.
like got an entire season.
yeah.
Like you think about people who have had like their dream was like to have a TV series,
Mm-hmm.
and it never happened for whatever reason, and they just sit there and Shasta McNasty comes on their television, and they're like slowly slide the gun into their mouth.
Not just that. That's what they led with. That was like the premier UPN season.
Yeah, that year they made a huge deal.
Check this
You're like,
shit out, you guys.
We got Jake Busey.
yeah.
We scored a Busey. You realize what this means?
Did you see Contact? Now you can see him on the UPN. Oh,
Man, how did I never see this show? I feel like I should.
because it was on UPN.
It was yeah.
And
Man.
look at it.
Look at it.
Look at the
Are you looking up stuff about Shasta
I need to
McNasty
fucking
right
see
now?
this
the
show.
promo of Shasta. That man. That just.
The upfronts were that was an amazing time.
Shasta McNasty.
That's when you just like never knew what you were gonna get, man. TV shows were wild.
Man, I miss working in TV
Yeah.
sometimes. I don't miss the paycheck.
No, the paycheck was rough.
Wait, Carlton Cuse, like the Lost guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're one of the writers on this?
Uh huh.
All right, cool.
He also wrote San Andreas.
Oh, all right, sweet.
So I'm saying he's just palling around with the directors.
Man.
Hey, let's write another rock movie.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah. Let's fucking
All right.
do it.
All right, and welcome to the BMFcast
Hey!
Spoilcast.
Whoa, what?
Hey.
Wait, I know. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Getting
Man.
from here to there.
Hey, BMFcast Spoilcast.
Yeah.
I thought the show was canceled.
Well, you know,
I thought
it's
you
making
were
a special
canceled.
appearance
every
for
5 years we reemerge.
April.
For a rock movie.
April.
Hashtag April.
Yeah.
We're
April.
here with a Spoilcast.
Yeah.
For Rampage.
Yeah.
Ape movie.
Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a big monkey.
It does.
Ramp Ape.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Ramp.
Sure, why not? I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And I'd
We're
say
here to talk about Rampage.
Yeah.
Rampage.
We don't have to do the whole spiel because we're just here to talk
And
about
what
Rampage.
we do every 5 years
Yeah.
is we go see a movie in the theaters, and then we come in here and we talk about it for 30 minutes, and it's all full
We've
of spoilers.
had plenty of occasions we could have done Spoilcasts, but we're just
Tired.
lazy, tired.
Yeah, we're lazy people.
But it's April, so
Uh-huh.
We felt a duty.
We took the week off from a normal thing, so we figured, it's time for some April content.
Why not slide some
despite-
hot content
Yeah.
in your ears?
yeah.
And the stars just align. Rampage open, so here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk very briefly, spoiler free, and then we will, sound the klaxons and let you know that the the actual spoilers are coming. So.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, the spoilers are coming.
Get to your homes.
Batten down the hatches. But yeah, fuck. What do we have anything to say that isn't spoiler? We didn't really discuss this. We literally just saw the movie, got here, and put ourselves in front of microphones.
The best thing I can say is this movie is precisely exactly what I expected, and that is not a bad thing.
This is not what I expected, and that's a good thing. I expected this to be hot garbage. Instead, it's what I wanted it to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little. I got to be honest. I was a little indifferent on seeing this. Just it was like, yeah, that seems like one of those rock things, like Jumanji 2, that I will catch on video. And then it was like this whole thing got proposed, and I was like, yeah, all right, I'll go see Rampage. Why not? I'll see anything.
Yeah.
Like Chuck's just like, hey, here's a shit movie for BMFcast Extra, and I'm like, sure, put it in my face. I'll watch it.
I know. That's why that show's so much fun.
I'll watch anything. So, but yeah, no, it's a good time.
Yeah. It feels like they snuck this one, like they somehow made a movie after Skyscraper was finished, but it hadn't come out yet. Because I feel like Skyscraper trailers have been being seen for a long time, and then all of a sudden it was just like,
no, everyone got hyped at the Super Bowl. That
Right,
was the
exactly.
first time anyone heard about
but
it.
no one had seen Rampage footage, I don't think, before the Super Bowl, had they?
I had heard
The Super Bowl was like 2 months ago.
I still have not seen a trailer for this.
Okay.
I've seen commercials that give away some of the best parts.
Sure.
Because that's what commercials do.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying,
But
like,
yeah,
you're
it
talking
just-
like
it
we've
kinda-
been waiting years for Skyscraper.
No. It just seems weird. Like Skyscraper was this thing that people were talking about, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, we made Rampage too. Go see that.
They made a Rampage 2?
Yeah, already. It's
Ooh, wow.
yeah. But
I'm excited.
yeah, but
Got 6-player co-op.
Yeah.
but this movie is like, you think about Rampage, the arcade game.
It is 100% faithful to it.
They go
it
to
It makes a
such
cameo
great
in the film.
yeah, and they go to such great lengths to make all of the things that you do in Rampage plausible for this movie.
Well, we'll wait till we're in spoiler
I
territory.
know.
There is one thing that I was wholly expecting the entire movie that never happened.
Okay.
But
Oh,
that's
I-
yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
But other than that, I will. I'll save it for spoiler time.
I mean, there's not much you can take from that video game. It's not story based at all. It's just three
Yeah, it is. There's
creatures
plenty of
beating
lore.
up buildings.
yeah.
Well, and it's not even technically
were mutated
faithful.
humans.
Yeah, they were mutated
Yeah.
humans anyway. But
Yeah.
I mean, this is for what the concept is. This is better than like Battleship. Battleship is fucking bad.
It's better than Battleship. Although
I'm just saying,
I
like,
do like Battleship.
in zero like plot thing. Like, let's turn
Right.
this. You could do worse and
Yes.
be Battleship.
Like, how are you going to make that a movie? They made it a movie, and we saw it,
We did.
and it's pretty good.
It has
It
The
is-
Rock in it.
It is
does.
entertaining.
It is, yeah.
It is from the director of San Andreas.
Yeah,
which
it
I
is.
still have not seen.
You all should see fucking
I
San
suspect
Andreas.
there are a lot of similarities between this and San Andreas.
I will say that San Andreas is a bit dumber and a bit better,
Okay.
Oh,
but
okay.
this is still pretty dumb and pretty good.
Is
Okay.
San Andreas as cheeky as this is?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
There will be
All right.
catastrophic damage happening, and The Rock will quip something like,
Excellent.
maybe we should leave now. That kind
Oh,
of
that's
thing.
quite the quip.
Well,
Maybe we
the
should
Rock's,
leave now.
The Rock's quips in this are pretty much like, oh shit.
Yeah. I guess my other question is, can The Rock ever play someone who's not The Rock anymore? Or is he just like basically like, we cast you or not? Actually, he doesn't even get cast anymore. He goes, I want to make this movie, and they make the movie around him.
This was sort
But-
of a co-production of $7
Yeah.
or $7.
$7.
Yeah,
So I will say, I think
which is the Rock.
But I mean, like what I'm saying is like The Rock is always going to be The Rock at this point. Right?
I partially blame us. I mean, I'm giving
Yeah.
I'm giving
It's
us too
our
much,
fault,
I'm giving
yes.
us too much credit, but I mean, remember when Fast 5 came out? We were bemoaning, we were like, Rock, where have you been? What you did? You made the rundown and a bunch of weird ass shit. So I feel
It was
like
he
a
got
fair
Disney-fied.
question.
So I feel like he got all of his weird, I'm doing alternate things out of his system, and now it's just like, oh, you wanted The Rock? Fucking every 3 months, Rock movie.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm here for that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were bemoaning, like, you're not going to get the fuck is the Get Shorty sequel again?
Be Cool.
Be
Yeah.
Cool. Like, you're not going to get Be Cool Rock. You're not going to get Southland Tales Rock. He's done his weird shit.
Yeah.
I feel like now it's just like, it's Rock time. Like,
Okay.
just,
That's fair.
yeah.
I think the weirdest Rock that we're going to get is something like Pain and Gain Rock.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
not
you
even
might,
that
yeah,
weird.
You might get
It's
some
just-
alternate, like, I might do a thing, but I'm still a big muscular dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's never not going to be able to play that guy.
Well.
It's not like he's just going to shed all his muscle mass to play.
Yeah,
some
but I mean,
dude.
like I couldn't tell you what his character's name is in this movie.
no,
Oh, I can.
Davis
I-
Okoye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Because it's just he's going to be the Rock. And that's the thing.
Even,
is,
they
like,
even let him pick his own character name. He named himself in this
Yeah,
movie
he did.
because he was like he wanted it was a tribute to his favorite player, Christian Okoye.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
like it.
like he literally
He
said, like
played some technical
they're like
ball.
they're like literally they're like he said like you can pick your character name because it's not really important. And he's like,
no, it's not.
Yeah, because everyone's just going to talk about. They're gonna be like, "Hey, remember when The Rock did this?"
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just saying, little
do.
trivia.
Yeah.
There's some actual trivia for the IMDb
Oh,
trivia instead
yeah.
of like this person was in this movie with this person.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and yeah, it's him. You got Academy Award nominated Naomi Harris,
Yeah.
who's kind of his sidekick in it. And
What was she nominated for?
Moonlight.
Okay.
Skyfall.
No,
Probably not.
Spectre. Chuck.
Oh, right. Spectre.
And Jeffrey Dean Morgan is kind of
Great.
he's great, but I suspect that the rest of his career is going to be
This
playing
guy.
playing Negan.
Negan. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's basically just playing Negan, except he's a good guy.
He's not a piece of shit.
Yeah,
He's borderline. He's a tweener.
yeah, but
he's-
he's still basically like all the affectations, everything is basically like he showed up on set and they're like, yeah, you know that Negan guy,
Yeah.
we want that.
We shaved your beard a little bit, but just keep
Yeah.
doing that. Monologue.
Yeah,
the fuck out
do
of
your whole
everything.
kind of lean to the side thing when you say something.
Yeah, I thought there was something wrong with his spine. Like
I've
He
kinda
also had a
wondered.
funny walk.
Yeah.
So
like
like,
maybe
not
that,
like haha funny walk.
maybe
just-
that front holster had shot himself in the leg at some point, and he was just
Maybe.
like had to balance it. But yeah, his posture is weird in this.
I have not seen any of the recent Walking Dead. I think I stopped at like season 4, so I haven't seen Negan.
Yeah,
I
saw
know of-
one Negan.
I know of him, so I haven't been saturated with Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
It's a charismatic character, but it's that note.
Yeah,
Like he's got one note.
It's a good note.
Yeah,
So
that's the
I
thing.
like
It's
it
a
lot.
good note. Yes.
yeah.
I am not tired of it yet, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see another movie with this character in it and be like Rampage 2 or I don't know, pick Operation Wolf with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and The Rock. And
Yeah, I'm in. Operation Wolf, let's fucking do this.
Yeah, and somebody I was not expecting. Joe Manganiello.
Joe Maniello.
Yeah, I didn't expect him either.
Nobody ever expects Joe Manganiello.
I did not expect.
Are you saying that name backwards?
Are you summoning like the Hellraisers?
Mitzelplick happening in
If
here?
you play it backwards, you'll hear me saying
Manganiello.
Joe Manganiello.
Yeah.
Manganiello.
Joe
Magnet Yellow.
Joe Magniello. Joe Manganese fellow.
How is it pronounced?
It's Joe Manga Animation.
Right.
no.
Okay. Manga.
Joe Japanimation.
Joe
Joseph Japanimation.
Joe Panimation.
It's manga.
Japan.
Let me
Good old Japan.
let me observe his name.
All right.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
in it.
Manganiello. Manganiello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Manganiello.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said it perfectly. Now that we've made fun of it so much,
Sure.
I can't do it. Sorry.
Manganiello.
Uh-huh.
It's
Manganiello.
it's my fault.
Manganiello.
But yeah, he's
Yeah.
in it
Can't
as
do it.
well.
Yeah,
So
it's weird because there are several points in this movie where the camera lingers on the back of someone's head, and you're like, "Oh man, who's this gonna be?"
Sadly, I knew exactly who that was just by the back of his head.
See, I did. I
You know,
kept.
it was old Joey Mangs.
I didn't look at the cast. I've seen him in enough stuff. I was like, oh, that's Joey Max.
For a split second, I thought he was the other dude from Fast and Furious, the one who was always angry all the time and then died in Fast 5. The
Oh,
one who-
Mange Mullet.
yeah.
Oh,
I thought it was him,
oh
but
Nope.
yeah, the camera spun around and there he was, and I was like, oh, I know you. I don't maybe I don't know, but
the ladies like him.
okay,
That's for the ladies.
yeah. Well, he was in the ladies movies,
And
Magic
all- and
Mike,
all- you know, I guess they also like the Rocks too. So there's,
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah, they do.
Going for it.
yeah. So
But yeah.
But
So
yeah,
anyway,
that's
yeah.
Rampage.
I mean, there's also
It's-
Malin Ackerman. I mean, she's
Uh-huh.
that's right.
kind
yes.
of the villain of this. If you're,
I would
Villainous.
I would say
mean, that's
so.
that's not even really spoilery. It's just like right off the bat, it's like I'm evil. It's like okay.
Yeah, in the dumbest way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Should we just
The real
clacks on into spoiler territory?
Yeah, I think
or-
we
well,
should.
the real like he's not even the villain. He's just the head of the villainous corporation. Brett Wyden, played by Jake Lacey. That fucking dude is great. Like
He's real oily, and
he is just the worst piece of shit. You can tell that he inherited all of his money, or he got fucking Shkreli lucky, and he's just so fucking punchable.
Yeah.
He leans so hard into that character, and I love it.
Yeah.
He does a wonderful job at that.
Yeah.
yeah.
But before we sound the klaxons,
Okay.
all I can say is, if you want to see this movie, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to see this movie, you know what you're getting into. So this movie it's what it says on the tin.
Yeah. I mean, it is a big dumb movie, but it is more fun than some of the big dumb movies that
It's better than every Transformers movie.
It's not an anger-inducing big dumb movie.
No, there really isn't anything in the movie. Like, you have to accept the premise going into it, otherwise you're not there. But other than that, there's really nothing in it. Like, there's no one character that's just like, man, fuck that guy. Except the ones that the movie wants you to feel that way about. But there's no dialogue that's really like, man, I want to punch the screenwriter. It's just like, at worst, it's middling. Like, when it's just people talking, at worst, it's just like, okay, you got to get this scene to get from point A to point B.
And there's always going to be people who are, I'm above that.
Oh, sure,
I'm too
whatever.
above that.
There were people in the theater who walked out. Like, who
Were there?
seemed, yeah.
I was too busy looking straight ahead at the screen, not wanting to miss
There
any
was a couple
giant dumb rock action.
Yeah, there was a couple rows back. Like, after one of the 3 climactic endings of the final battle sequence, they got up and jingled their keys pretty fucking loud and walked out like, we have had enough of this. Good day to all of you.
I expect more out of my rock movies.
Enjoy your rubbish.
Enjoy your Nickelodeon, peasants.
Now, they could have had an emergency or something. I don't know, but it just
No,
seemed,
I prefer to think that they were just haughty assholes.
it just seemed like after one of the big climactic things that happens and the movie got quiet, they got up and were like, fuck this. And I was, because at first I was like, are you trying to get home early, like to beat the crowd? There's only 12 of us in here.
Yeah.
But no, they were just like,
I was
"We are out
disappointed
of
in
here."
the early Rampage crowd.
Yeah.
Because ours was the first showing possible. And there were like our row that was full.
Yeah.
And then no other rows that
Not
were
really,
full
no.
in there at all.
No, it was a little sad.
Yeah.
But, it's April.
I just
Yeah.
I feel like
they were not in the April spirit.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone that walks into Rampage and expects more. It's like going to an ICP concert and be like, what are with all these clowns? I don't understand a thing that's happening here.
I don't know.
I was expecting cello.
Yeah, I thought it would be the circus.
Why are they spraying soda on people? Who does
They
that?
go. I think I will go. Yeah.
Oh,
Is
man.
this where we throw rocks at Ron Jeremy now?
Yeah. Just say, like, it's pretty fucking stupid to show up at this and act highbrow. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, I don't know what Dwayne Johnson movie you thought you were getting. Like, oh, that thespian is sunken so low. What is this?
So,
And like, I'll say, for the most part, the effects are pretty good. There are a couple of moments where, I would say early on, when like the George the monkey is interacting with some people, right? When he's interacting with some people at the zoo, it was like when he first escapes, that like run through the zoo seemed pretty rough. Like, like it just didn't blend right. But
It wasn't perfect.
No, but
Well,
everything
I've
else
seen
is
it's
worse.
also
just
one of those scenes that's so chaotic, it's tough to give people sight
Sure.
lines on things.
Yeah.
Because it's done in a long take,
Yes.
kind of, and that's a real tough one to pull off.
Yeah,
and
but
they
it's just like,
obviously did
okay,
not pull it off.
here's where they pull the wire to knock over the postcards. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
like, But, I mean, really, that was 12 seconds of the movie. The rest of it, I mean,
Well,
these,
I have other
these things
things-
fucking up Chicago.
I have
was
other
pretty
things
good.
on this list. I feel like we should just klaxon on and
Yep.
Yeah, all right, let's
talk about them.
Yeah.
Hey, spoiler time.
Yeah.
Ooga.
Yeah, yes. Awooga indeed.
You've been warned. I mean, if you're worried about us spoiling the cinematic mastery that is Rampage, then you might want to tune away now.
It's the name of the fucking episode. It's a spoilcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like Rampage, you knew what you were getting when you walked into
Yeah.
it.
So while we're talking about so effects,
Okay.
again, I'm going to skip ahead because it's in the movie, but the helicopter crash with Joe Magniano,
Uh-huh.
that was a real bad explosion.
Oh, it was.
Oh
yeah.
super
like that was
CG
like
fire.
super like
Yeah.
like that one was like oh
Yeah.
like at first I was like yeah then I, like
It was like they had a really high resolution version of a very small fire.
Yeah.
Right, and it just kind of poofed up out of the passenger side, just
Right.
like
What's sad is it was probably a more realistic explosion
Probably.
than
Well, I
most
mean,
movies have, but this
my-
is Rampage.
yeah, my
Yeah.
Give us a
realistic-
big fucking
Yeah.
chopper fireball.
my
all right?
Pavlovian response was like oh yeah thing blew up after it hit the ground because yay that's what's supposed to happen then it was like I was like immediately like yay
oh
Yeah.
Well, at least you tried.
yeah I'm just that was my reaction
Kind of a disappointing handy of a.
because I was
of
about to
an
like
Yeah.
fist pump and then I was like that was really sad
Yeah, it's like some of the BMFcast movies we watch where a car goes off a cliff and there's a tiny explosion in the trunk, and you're like, well, at least you did something. Look at you.
Yeah.
way to try.
You didn't have
Yeah.
the budget of Rampage.
Yeah, no.
but yeah just
What was
so we'll start from the beginning just to paint the
Ooh,
picture of just
okay.
how dumb this whole premise is.
Okay.
We get a little text crawl of like that the CRISPR was this a real thing? Did anyone?
CRISPR is a real
Yeah,
thing.
this is a real thing.
thing,
So
yeah.
like genetic
Real
tampering
thing.
type thing.
Because
Okay.
they've had
Yeah.
people on Twitter, like The Rock has been retweeting people on Twitter who are actual scientists going, yeah, this could totally happen.
Yeah. So there's a little text crawl about like
Has he?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. The same way when people were like, he can't change a Scud missile on the ice, and he was just like, yeah, here's your physicist to say I can do it.
Torpedo.
Right, whatever.
it's Neil Badass Tyson.
Yes. Oh, God. Yeah, tomorrow. Jesus
yeah, I know.
Christ.
I know.
Oh,
I'm just saying like
Giant monkeys can't do that.
I just imagine that there's a guy that's like scientist. He's like, "Fuck yeah, you could do that." I'm Neil Badass Tyson.
Yeah. You just one scientist that Hollywood has on their payroll go, yeah, could happen.
I want to be that scientist. I'm going back to school right now.
So there's a text crawl saying like, da 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 CRISPR. We took it even further. Like,
CRISPR.
it, like, and the U.S. government basically is like, hey, if you're going to do that fucking weapon of mass destruction, can't do that. It's illegal.
Yeah.
Cut to space station where they're doing precisely that.
So these
There's-
D-bags decide to do it in fucking
Yeah.
So
space.
they're sciencing in space, and I love that like there's no setup for it. It's like shit has already gone wrong.
Yep.
I honestly thought that this first scene was going to be like we were going to pull back from a movie screen that somebody was watching.
Yeah.
Like
But I mean, like
this was goofy as shit.
It is
Yeah.
like it is literally like into the window of a space station. Shit is already there's like body parts floating around, and there is one scientist lady stuck around, and it's Marley Shelton. She
Yes.
was in like the Rodriguez stuff and
Yeah.
Sin City and whatnot. But she she's like, oh god, get me out of here, escape hatch, and they're like, what's the big deal? There's just a rat. She's like, not anymore, big rat. Killed everybody. Let me out of here. When they're like, not without the experiment. Get the experiment.
Yeah, and it's
we're-
Malin Ackerman voiceover telling her,
Yeah.
no,
You're not leaving.
you don't leave until you get those samples.
Yeah. And so
either you. What did she say? Either you leave with the samples or you don't.
yeah.
Leave.
So she
Yeah.
goes back to the lab, gets the samples. Giant rat is lurking around, and we see like skittering things off in the background, and it's kind of like alien escape. Like she's got to get away from this thing
Yep.
while shit's blowing up, knocking the rat around. Gets back to the escape pod. It's like, yeah, I made it out, and here's the samples. And the rat had attacked the pod's window. So like in reentry, the pod breaks apart, and these capsule things, these samples go all over the United
There's
States.
a small
basically.
part of me that really enjoys how she realizes that's happening, is because there's small chunks of glass floating around inside the pod as she's like relaxing that she's lived, and then she looks at the glass and it's
Yep.
the pieces are falling down on her.
But so that's your basic premise of this movie is like these samples are spread all over the United States and crash land into various places.
Yeah.
yeah.
One of them lands in the Everglades.
Yep.
One of them lands in Wyoming.
Yep.
There are still. One lands at the San Diego Zoo.
Yeah.
Which is where we see the Rock and he's
Yeah.
basically the he's the ape scientist, the ape guy.
He's
the-
a
Primatologist.
primatologist.
Yeah.
There are 2 unaccounted for samples, so I cannot wait for Rampage
They
2.
weren't. It was just debris. She only had 3 samples in her case.
I thought she got 5. The case could hold 5.
It held 5, and there were other pieces of debris that came down. But, it
But
was
she
only,
got interrupted
Oh,
by
okay.
the rat.
yeah,
as
she
was
couldn't
trying
fill
to
her
load them.
case, so
I
she
got
only
you.
had.
But
She could have just said, "I have the samples."
Yeah,
yeah, true.
Movie would have been 4
They
minutes long.
might have had some cameras and shit up here.
maybe.
Maybe.
But anyway, that's your setup for the movie. Is that Rock's like, I guess he's kind of teaching, like he's got like interns or students or something.
It's weird because it's like him and people are walking through a jungle,
Yeah.
and you're like, are they just shooting on the Jumanji set? Like, what's happening? And yeah, they just walk up to the
they're-
gorilla
they're
habitat
actually, they're
at
just,
the zoo.
They're just in the ape
yeah,
pit or
and
whatever.
they're just like, okay, students.
Ape pit.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, students, pay attention now. let's watch what these gorillas do and don't freak out.
And there's one dude. I mean, it's funny because one dude's just like, yeah, I was the shit and I things and stuff, and
I was in Uganda.
To the hot girl, and
Yeah.
she's stunting for her, and like she's just like not having any of it. And Rock does. It's a good joke because Rock does the.
Yeah.
He's like
he holds the fist up.
yeah, like they're like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
He's like, very careful. There's monkey shit everywhere from this kid throwing.
Guy's
it.
just spewing out monkey shit.
Yeah. And then it's
shit.
introduce the apes, and there's a couple female apes with babies, and a younger ape comes up and is like, "Oh, I'm alpha," and that's where we meet George, who knocks him over and is like, "No, I'm actually the alpha," and they're friends. They
He's a
talk.
rare albino.
Yes, they're friends. They talk.
And he knows sign language. He
does.
And they
He also knows jokes
he does. He and the Rock
Yeah.
sign back and forth, and then the monkey flips him off
and laughs.
and laughs.
And the Rock is like, "Hey, that's rude. Don't do that." And he does it again. Because the Rock is going for a fist bump, and he's like, "Okay, fist bump."
It's good.
Flips
it's
him
good
off.
joke.
Yeah, sure. Monkeys flipping dudes off is always
Yeah,
funny.
but we basically learn. Okay, monkey knows sign language. Buddies with the Rock.
Yeah, the Rock doesn't like people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because
the girl throws herself at him.
oh yeah, she's
basically.
like, I want to talk about this whole submission domination thing, and he's like, yeah, I gotta go.
I gotta feed my dogs. Yeah. Meanwhile, the nerdy guy with him is like, "Do it." Yeah.
Well, he tells her he's about to go home and make some kale bread if
Yeah.
she's interested, and she's like, and then he doesn't even let her answer. He's like, all right, fine, whatever. Later.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
you got gluten allergies.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Anyway, bye.
Yeah. See ya.
But yeah, so they leave, and Sample crashes in, and George, being the alpha gorilla, has to go over and
Sniff it.
Take a
sniff
sniff.
it, and
Yeah.
Well, he goes up to look at it, and it just kind of explodes in his
he
face.
taps it. I think he taps
Yeah.
it. But
He does,
anyway,
yeah.
And that's the same thing that happened in Wyoming
with some wolves.
with some wolves, and we see that the third sample has fallen in the Everglades, and alligator just comes out of nowhere and chomp.
Dangle alligator.
Yeah.
Beat that
Big
thing.
old thing, come up and just bite that dang thing, just eat that
So
thing.
there's where we get our critters,
I think also that is why the gator was much bigger,
because it just full on
because
ate it.
it full on ate the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
capsule.
took it all on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and it's
that's
the gator.
that's our setup.
Yep.
And it's next day, like panicky guys like Rock. You got to get to the bear enclosure.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
Grizzly.
Yeah,
he's
grizzly.
like, it's George. He's
George,
in
he's
there.
in the grizzly pit.
And so he runs in, and like there's a dead grizzly bear all torn up, and George is hiding in the corner and also torn up from a grizzly, but comes out and he's huge or bigger,
Bigger.
bigger,
Yeah.
not all the way big yet.
He's like
This
twice
was-
as big as he was.
Yeah, this for a pretty much non-actor acting against something that's not there. This was a really good reaction from The Rock. It really, because like if he hadn't have sold it, I wouldn't have known this thing
Are you
was.
saying The Rock is a non-actor?
Yeah, I am.
What is The Rock if not an actor?
He's an actor, but he's not like. Come on, we get to the end of this movie, he doesn't exactly sell the sadness very well either.
The Rock
I'm
is
just-
the most
yeah.
electrifying
Oh,
man
I-
in sports entertainment, and you don't get there by not being a good actor.
I was hoping that Daniel Day-Lewis would have taken the role to
Absolutely.
give us the proper reaction to
I-
George being twice the size
I
he
am
was.
just- I am
Well,
just
in
saying-
4 years
I'm
prior.
disgusted.
in 5 years, when he has completed his primatology degree
Yes.
and spent time in the in the jungles of Africa with the lowland gorillas, then Daniel Day-Lewis will emerge to bring us Rampage 2.
I am just saying,
World
when
tour.
George came out of the cave, it to me did not look like he was that much bigger because they didn't do a good job with perspective in the opening scene. But The Rock really sold it as, oh my God, something is horribly wrong here.
Yeah.
So, because the nerdy guy too was just like, yeah, he's big now. That's bad. So, yeah, then they just put him inside and.
Yeah, they're like quarantine him because he murdered a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
And
But The Rock is like, no cops. You tell the cops they're going to murder him, so no cops.
No fucking cops. Man.
Yeah.
then it just starts the kind of plot you think is going to happen.
It-
you
yeah,
know?
exactly
I mean,
the
exactly what
plot.
you think is going to happen. Like Naomi Harris is like she's a scientist who formerly worked for the bad corporation. They give her a little backstory just by panning over her apartment and seeing a picture of her with a sick person who turns out to be her brother. Mm-hmm. So like.
And she's late for work.
Yeah, so
and she's
and she's got
apologizing again.
genetic science books sitting around her apartment and all this kind
Yeah.
of stuff, and it's like you kind of get that's what I appreciate. Like, I know they then later just pretty much straight up explain it, but like for a big dumb action movie like this, they do little setup things about characters I mean, some of it's a little obvious, but I mean, like most movies like this just don't even bother. They're just like, we will monologue about your backstory eventually as we're walking down a hallway. This at least like had a photoshopped thing where it's like, here's pale sick brother in the hospital.
I mean, you think they're going to do like what they do later with The Rock when he explains where he met George? They did a little flashback scene, but you know.
But I mean, it's just like, she had good intentions for messing with gene splicing and all this stuff, and of course they like, were like, yes, evil.
They weaponized
evil,
it.
So
yeah, because Malin Ackerman and Jake Lacy are never presented as anything less than totally evil.
Absolutely.
He's
absolute
presented as less evil and more just like, oh man, this shit's gone too far.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? And her just being like, I got a plan. Shut the fuck up. I'm evil.
He is, pardon the reference, kind of an asshole Morty. Like, if you're smart enough to watch Rick and Morty,
yeah,
that is a joke.
Oh, you mean run internet chat things?
Yeah.
The only endearing thing about this dude is that he has a Pop-Tart cozy.
I think it's just a napkin, like lovingly folded around a Pop-Tart, but that is such a beautiful thing.
Ultra rich and always eating a Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
he's a billionaire kid and just a shithead kid, and I fucking love the Pop-Tart cozy.
Yeah,
I'll call it a Pop-Tart cozy.
And I assume it's his office that she keeps going into because there's like toys on the desk, and
I think it's a shared office thing.
And then of course there's a Rampage machine,
What
arcade
was-
machine,
what
and
was
Mortal
the other-
Kombat was
Mortal
the
Kombat,
other
original
one.
Mortal Kombat, yeah.
Original Mortal Kombat.
but they have named the virus or whatever the thing is that they were experimenting. It's called Rampage. So
The Rampage Project.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Project Rampage.
yeah,
It's
but-
because this kid is an asshole and was like, "Oh man, Rampage was cool."
yeah. Boy, I hope
Well,
that
cool.
exact
Well,
thing doesn't happen.
We're going to be making animals big? Well, what if we
And
call
this
it Rampage?
And this is again,
What
like,
do we call it? Big animals.
This is one of my favorite things in dumb movies like this is we were making this thing for this specific purpose, and it's like, who the fuck you gonna sell that? to?
Exactly.
Like,
Yes.
What the fuck was your purpose?
Just 'cause, like-
making animals huge and
Yeah.
pissed off.
'Cause, like, right away-
like, what practical purpose for literally anything
Yeah.
on Earth, anywhere? Is there a practical purpose for
Nice.
this?
It's a very good weapon.
yeah,
There is no animal on Earth that I would want to just fucking jack up 1,000 times and make it pissed off and self-regenerating. You cannot name a single animal that I would like that to happen to.
because like Dr. Caldwell, like when she meets up with The Rock and is like
Naomi
explaining,
Harris.
is like explaining, here's what's going on here, and she just has this Wikipedia page of like, what if we took the anger of this thing and the defenses of this and the growth hormone of this, and it was just no one says, what are you doing? And like later she hints like it was to cure her brother of something that he had, but it's like you're also gonna make him 100 million feet tall and pissed off
Well,
and have
she
fucking
was-
spikes coming out of him.
She was working on the gene splicing, so she actually explains it. She was working on the gene splicing thing, and instead of it acts really slowly, the CRISPR gene splicing thing, apparently. But her big contribution to it was making it spread quickly throughout the body, so that it would act fast enough to save someone from cancer, AIDS, or whatever.
These two evil
but they
fuckers,
co-opted it into evil fucking death virus,
which is just let's make giant monsters and then sell them to the highest bidder. It's like the fuck that is going to go horribly wrong no matter how you splice it. And and their plan, which is eventually like we'll set off a signal and have all the monsters come to us, and then the army will kill them and we'll get their blood samples and everything will be okay. Is fucking stupid. It is fucking stupid.
Jesus, you're killing me here, man.
I'm just saying, it is like it is that movie, and it's just like this is the absolute dumbest plan anyone could come up with, and they're both like, let's do this. Yeah, that makes sense.
And of course, like in a smarter movie that's not Rampage starring The Rock, it would be like, well, this is a metaphor for the atomic bomb, and we created that, and why wouldn't it work? And it's like, yeah, sure, you can make that argument, but this is Rampage starring The Rock. There is no deeper level to this, so don't even attempt to tell me that there might be.
The deeper level is don't do this shit.
Yeah.
And also be friends with an ape.
Yeah.
But there is no universe where their plan is in any way successful. None.
There's also no universe
Profitable.
where doing it in space is a good idea either, but they do that.
I do.
Oh, it's going to be safe in space.
I do appreciate that he calls that out. He's like, she's like, oh, we found the canister, but it was breached. That because they called Joe Manganiello in
Yep.
to
Joe Margarine Yellow.
yes,
Joe, I can't believe it's not butter.
Joe Manga Akira. They call him in, which is they get like the behind the head hero shot of him coming up, and I'm like, I know Jeffrey Dean Morgan's in this, but he's not that character.
Yeah.
You know, and then they finally pan around and he's got like the scarred up face and he looks awesome. And he's like, I'm going to take down that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be what's his name from Baby Driver from the back.
Oh, yeah, the Punisher dude.
Yeah, that dude.
Out of my head.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Punisher,
now you
dude.
guys messed me up.
Sorry, I derailed you.
The Punisher. The guy from The Walking
John
Dead.
Bernthal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad you
know.
pulled it back out of your
It's-
head.
Yeah, it's all in there. It just has to get out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But then that would have been some IMDb trivia they could use. Both Jeffrey Dean Morgan and
Jeffrey
were
Dean Morgan
starred
and
in
John
Walking-
Bernthal never shared a scene together.
Yeah,
However,
never
they were
shared a
also
scene
in The
on
Walking Dead.
where they never shared a scene in
And
that
they appeared
either.
together at the Portland Comic Con last year.
But anyway, yeah, they call him in, and he finds the canister, and he's like, "We got the canister, but it's been breached, but we can follow the tracks." And that's when the brother's like, "We're fucked.
Yep.
We're totally fucked. There's a reason we did this in space, and now it's on Earth. And what are we gonna do?" And she's like, "Calm down.
We got a
I'm
plan."
evil, and I've got a plan."
Yeah. And it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I love that. I appreciate that she sells it with such conviction and confidence. She's like, "No, this plan will work. Trust me."
No, this makes perfect
You
sense.
understand? What we do is we go up to the roof. We're in the Sears Tower that's not called the Sears Tower anymore, but everyone still calls it the Sears Tower. This is our building.
Yep.
I happen to have retrofitted the antennas yesterday as soon as this happened to broadcast a signal that will drive them crazy and make them come to the signal because they have to stop it.
Right.
And then the army will just kill them, and we'll take the
We'll
DNA.
take the blood sample and then everything, and we'll sell it to the highest bidder.
It's like, that's your plan?
In a million years, this
That's
wouldn't
your
work.
stupid ass plan?
I will say this to the movie's credit. In the moment, I'm like, fuck it, whatever.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
don't
Oh,
care.
100%.
I had the
Absolutely.
This
thought
is a
like
bad
when
idea,
when it
but-
happened, I was like, "This is the fucking stupidest thing ever." But then,
Yeah.
like 2 seconds later, I was like, "Oh, whatever."
Yeah, their
it's
plan
Rampage.
is to drive pissed off giant monsters to one of the largest urban centers they could possibly find. It's like,
Yeah.
you couldn't build that antenna in like
And
in
they're
fucking
coming
the
from
middle of nowhere, Iowa.
and they're coming from at least 3 corners of the U.S.
Yes.
So they're going to have to rampage their way across the country
Yeah.
before they get to Chicago,
And
the heartland of
They have
America.
no idea what the Army's plan is going to be. The Army could just say, "Nuke Chicago," and those two fucks are hanging out in the building,
building.
as the monsters show up and are climbing the building.
Hanging out on the roof.
They're just like, it's all coming together as the building is just swaying and crumbling. They're just like, "Oh man, I love this."
All right, I feel like you're underselling how awesome it is that they set up this hero shot of Joe Manganiello and like all of this like badass like mercenary dudes.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
it's
helicopter
a good
shots,
scene.
and like they fly in and they're like, "We got this. We're going to shoot the wolf from the plane," and then like they just or the helicopter, and it's just like. They don't realize exactly how large it is because they don't have any perspective.
Yeah.
And then they land on the ground, and it's this like horror movie scene, like in the fog.
Yeah, it's like a 30-foot wolf.
Yeah.
and
Like one of them puts their hand in one of the pad prints of the wolf, and they're just like,
Not the big one, one of
yeah,
the small
yeah.
ones.
It's like, what is
but
this?
it's
this
but I
thing's
mean
fucking
from like a plot standpoint, it really sells the how dangerous these things are in a really good way.
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
it's like you have these like
And it's
we're the
surprisingly
badass mercs,
and it's surprisingly gory
Yes.
too. Like
Yeah.
like this is a PG-13 movie, and I was like, "There's a dude torn in half."
Yeah, 'cause,
like
like-
his shredded corpse is laying there.
Yeah,
and
because
they-
when he's the
they
only one
don't
left, he
linger on it.
walks into the
Yeah.
predator den of like, here are all the trophies of this thing.
well, and honestly, in the beginning too, like in the space station, there's like a
Yeah.
severed arm floating around. There's like
Yeah.
blood coming off it. I'm like, this is PG-13.
Yeah.
It's one of those things
Yeah.
that's like, I don't give a shit.
No.
But it just seems odd, like an odd juxtaposition of like, well, why not just go R-rated so The Rock can actually say motherfucker when you get to motherfucker,
Right.
and Jeffrey Dean Morgan can say more than shit.
but I felt like we just like they died move
Oh, no.
on. But I mean like it's really good setup for like
Oh, yeah.
and
And,
also the other
We
good
don't
thing
want to spoil anything.
also the good thing about it is it helps the plot as far as this wolf's just in Wyoming, like
Yeah.
it's not particularly far from Chicago compared to the other places,
Right.
like like the other two sides of the United States. It's like it's kind of close.
And that's one. If there's one thing this movie missteps with, it's that they just skip over that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like they show, there's a shot of the alligator going, "Fuck," and then like in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, and then or whatever it is, like in the Everglades or something, and turns around.
Yeah.
And heads that way, but like
there's no human
somehow
character
this thing makes it across the United States to Chicago without getting spotted.
Yeah,
it stayed in the waterways the entire time.
The best part about that is when like the army is monitoring the situation and they get the radar blip of this thing in the water in the Chicago River, and one of them says, "We don't have any subs in the area." It's like, what the fuck would you have a sub in Chicago?
Hey man,
hey, you don't know, Chuck.
Wait a minute, isn't there?
There's a military base.
Chicago is on
Lake Superior, Michigan, Ontario.
Fuck no, seriously, like the fuck is wrong with me?
It's on Lake Chicago.
The
Y'all
greatest
said so much dumb shit I can't even think of the actual name. It's on Lake Michigan.
Right.
God damn it.
Lake Michigan.
Yes.
Don't they have a Navy
But
pier
they're
in
in-
Chicago? Yeah.
but they're in Illinois.
But not one that can just go through and just
not
show
through
up downtown.
But
Hey,
I mean, if you could get to the Navy
the
pier,
giant alligator pulled it off, Chuck.
Yeah.
But to what you were saying, like this thing has to get from Florida to Illinois.
The Mississippi River
I was going to say the Mississippi River.
Someone
Does it
would have
connect?
said something.
goes
That
most
thing
of the
had
way
to
up
be-
there. Yeah.
It isn't that wide the entire way up. Just saying.
But I mean, the tributaries are the Great Lakes for the Mississippi River. I'm pretty sure you can connect from the Mississippi River up into the Great Lakes.
I just love the idea that it
Sure.
that it made it like
Stealth.
nobody had an idea
Yeah.
that this fucking 150-foot long alligator.
Because once this thing is out of the water, it never goes back in the water again. It's just like time to shine.
Oh, it's climbing buildings.
Yeah, going through buildings.
Yeah.
But there is one good shot because, like, all right, so you've got, like I said, the mercenary dudes get murked by the wolf guy, and
Which
then,
I didn't expect all of them to.
No,
I
I-
figured like main dude would then
Yeah.
team up with the Rock at one point. And be
Absolutely.
like, I fought this wolf. Let's fucking do this.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's kind of extra effective. And like,
Yeah.
Hey, here's this guy. Maybe you recognize him, and he's about to he straight up gets murdered.
Yeah. He's the Drew Barrymore of this movie.
Yeah. But like,
And also the wolf, like one of the ways it destroys, like it leaps up and grabs a chopper out of the air, grabs a Black Hawk out of the air, and just fucking mouths it and destroys it.
I do like the one guy who gets yanked out. He's still on the intercom going, "Oh God, Jesus!" As he's getting eaten.
but they flip on the switch, which they all like kind of simultaneously. Oh, what is that? Let me go murder it. And and it's funny that it's the Sears Tower that they do it because it's like it does have the big giant antenna on it, and they're like, yeah, we have the most powerful antenna, broadcast AM signal all over the entire country, basically.
Yeah.
And we've retrofitted it to piss off monsters.
But there,
Yeah,
we
but
do-
but also
here.
like
we do get one quick shot of Ralph. Ralph. I had to think
yes,
of the name
because
of-
Jeffrey Dean Morgan does tell us that
Internet.
the wackos on the internet named him Ralph.
But like we get a shot of him like in some town fucking shit up because like he's like his head's halfway through a bus, like and there's still people on the bus, and he's just like, whoa.
Like a dog with its head caught in a pillowcase. Just yes, it's at Mount Rushmore.
Oh, that's
what's
right.
happening,
Yeah,
because because he's just fucking shit up at Mount Rushmore, and then the signal comes on, and then the wolf's just like, gotta go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, George eventually busts out of like when
George
The
busts
Rock-
out of the zoo.
Yeah. When The Rock is getting exposition from Naomi Harris about, okay, well, here's what's happening to him, and like George needs food because he keeps signaling to The Rock. He's like hungry. and
She's
The
like,
Rock-
oh, yeah, you would
and,
be
and,
hungry.
and then The Rock is doing that whole conversation and like, hey, are we gonna get some food over here?
Get some food for George, please.
We need some food right now for George. And then George finally just gets pissed off enough to smash out, and he gets outside, and The Rock's able to like talk him down for a little bit.
And talk the cops down when the cops show
Yeah.
up. Because the cops are all guns drawn, and the Rock is just like, hey, no, I got this. And the
Yeah.
cops are like, yeah, okay, we default to the Rock.
And he does until what I assume is military chopper shows up with like 50,000 tranquilizer darts.
They knock him out, and that's when we
Yeah.
meet Jeffrey D. Morgan. He's like, hey, I'm government guy. And when shit goes crazy, they call me. I'm government guy.
Yeah.
I'm from the government.
I'm the
Well, he
government
says
cowboy.
he's OGA
Right.
and The Rock because he's ex-military.
Right.
Because of course The Rock is ex-military.
Has to be.
Is like OGA, other government agency. I've heard that before.
I like that The Rock is like, he's former Army Special Forces. and then ends up
plus anti-poacher.
Yeah,
plus,
he was
yeah,
then
yeah, I mean,
transferred
it's
to the
like,
UN,
yeah, he's like
to the special
literally
anti-poacher
everything.
task force.
He's got
and
skills.
then became
yeah.
a primatologist at some point.
Yeah.
I'm
G.I.
sorry.
Bill is a
I know
wonderful
he's
thing.
like the. I know he's like the amalgamation of probably like 5 characters.
Yes.
But because it's The Rock, you're like, okay,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that
sure.
makes total sense. Yeah.
I buy it.
Yeah.
Army Ranger, yeah.
But yes.
anti-poacher.
Of course, they're like, all right, we're in charge here now. Like, put these zip ties on The Rock and Naomi
Yeah,
Harris,
zip
and
ties
we're
on
loading
The
him on the
Rock.
C-130. And he's like, you're not putting the giant monkey in there. He's like, it's fine. We got him tranked up. We'll
Yeah.
be fine.
It's like, we got an IV of hot tranquilizers running through that monkey. I know a thing or two, you primatologist.
yeah, and she tries to tell him like, well, at the rate he's growing, and he's like, yeah, we know about all that.
Yeah.
We took
we
that
may not
into
be
account.
we not be
did the
smart
math.
enough, but
Yeah.
we get along.
Hey, you
know,
want to tell your new buddy about how you were in jail?
yeah,
And then for some
and it's
reason that's
basically
a,
like
Yeah.
that she was part of the corporation and she served
got fired
time
and
after it.
stole some
She
hard
stole
drives.
some shit from the corporation, and
Which
went
we all
to
know
the
because
jail.
we've seen a movie that
Yes.
no, she was trying to do the right thing.
Right.
And
But
They
in this
framed
movie,
her.
The Rock is sad for 45 seconds. You betrayed me.
But I just wanted to point out that like they flip the signal on, and George is in the middle of the plane, and so he wakes up and is like, "No,
Yeah.
me out now."
Right.
But
and The Rock is
also-
like, hey, no.
But also, the assholes from the corporation are like, if we turn the signal on,
He's
that
gonna-
monkey's on the plane.
Yes, because they've also decided that they need to kill Naomi Harris.
Right.
'Cause
Right,
she's
yeah.
like they're not really worried about The Rock.
No,
but
they don't
she
even
has
know
all
who
the
he is.
secrets and
Yeah. They're like, if
kill
we,
2 birds. Here.
If we turn, kill 2 birds with 1 bird.
one rock.
Yeah.
I get
I
it.
will. They're like, yeah, if we, the one smart thing they do, like the one is absolutely evil, but it's a plausible plan. They're like, this super monkey, super ape. If we turn the thing on the plane, it'll ruin it.
Yeah.
And it'll crash. That'll be great.
Yep.
Let's do it. Click.
I
They're
just figured
so
out
fucking hard
They'll
up
kill
for
2
that.
birds and 1 rock.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's
There it is.
Yeah, but George just proceeds to fucking wreck everyone in there. Like dudes are getting smashed into walls.
And the best part about this is pretty much our favorite thing rock related is that he's pretty much he's playing along that like yes I'm zip tied until shit starts getting wrecked and he's just like I'm the motherfucking Rock. Snap.
Yeah, snaps.
Yes.
Just like the cast in
Yeah.
Daddy's
Furious
got to go to
7,
work.
Yep.
where he's just like, "Fuck this thing."
Nah.
or the rubber bullets in 8.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like, did you shoot me with a rubber bullet?
Yeah.
And
I
I-
like.
Oh, well,
I will
Jesus.
say this too: her reaction to him doing that is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the background where she's like, "Oh wait, you were faking the whole time."
Yeah.
I like to think that The Rock actually broke out of like real ass zip ties for
Yes.
this. Yeah.
Yes. That'll be in the IMDb trivia.
I just put it in there. So
Nice.
The Rock wrecked 27 pairs of zip ties.
zip cuffs they call them.
Ah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so George gets out and just fucking wrecks everybody. Everybody. And
Yeah.
then just this.
And just as the Rock's about to get him calmed down, the guy in the pilot in the cockpit
yeah.
like
Yeah.
throws the door open, and is like starts trying to machine gun him in the back of the head, and he gets it rough.
Yeah, he does. And he gets thrown around while he's still shooting. So bullets are just going everywhere.
And of course shoots the actual pilot. Or
Yeah.
one of the pilots.
Yeah, well, they hit like an engine or something at some point because the plane is just like, nope, going down. That's the end of this plane.
We made something explode, and then also the pilot was dead. So
Yeah.
in addition to not being able to maintain altitude, the pilot
He
falls
leaned
forward
on
on the
the
yoke.
stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's this forklift that's tied in the back, and so they're going down.
Yeah, bring a forklift with you on the fucking.
well, they had to
plane.
get the crate. They had
to move the
George in
monkey
it.
crate.
That's how they were going to then get it off. So
You have a forklift at your destination too. You don't fly a forklift.
you can't be
Come on.
prepared. You can't.
Come on. I need some realism, Chuck.
Oh, okay. But anyway, so they concoct this thing of she's like, whip me around over to the other side of the plane. So The Rock kind of throws her over, and she grabs the seat belt that's holding this forklift thing, and the forklift goes and just pins George to the front of the plane. And then like The Rock and the lady are just like, all right, put on parachutes. We're getting out of
I
this
do
plane.
like that she goes, "Oh my God, we're gonna die." He's like, "Yeah, probably."
Yeah, probably, but
I also my other favorite thing is that in movies everyone knows how to put parachutes on.
oh yeah,
Everyone. Like then they can do
And-
it while there's basically zero gravity and the plane's
Yeah.
crashing.
How to put it on, how to secure it, and
Yeah.
which cord to pull.
And The Rock puts it on Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's been knocked out in the
He's been
flight.
thrown across the entire cargo bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is like laid out on some crates.
Well, he got stuck on a big cargo crate. I did not think the scene was going the way that it initially
I
did.
thought they were going to use that.
I thought he was going to launch the
Right, exactly. I
cargo,
thought they were going to pull
parachute.
that out and parachute with the giant cargo.
Oh, because
pallet,
everything with a pallet and a net over it always has a parachute.
Exactly.
Yes,
yeah,
always.
you just
That's
pull the
just
cord and it
airdrop.
goes
It's an
flying.
airdrop
Right.
parachute,
Yeah.
just ready to go.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But his like arm is caught in the netting, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's, and
So it takes The Rock forever to get him out of this.
Yeah, as George is getting the forklift off of himself.
Yeah.
But they
coming
they
after them.
parachute away. I mean, he does get him away, and they parachute away
okay.
safely.
spoiler alert, they
Okay.
live through this.
Best thing about this, they have
Yep.
strapped a GoPro to The Rock, and so like when he is whatever he's falling from, he just has this. I want a gif of this so bad of The Rock just kind of like, yeah, that just happened. He's just kind of lackadaisical, like, fuck, another day of this. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like,
Well, I love that mid-air, Jeffrey Dean Morgan wakes up.
oh yeah,
And goes,
Yeah.
oh, shit!
Oh, because
Yeah.
the Rock's like riding him down.
Oh, yeah.
like Dr.
yeah.
Strangelove.
He's just like, all right, wait, hang on, it's
Yeah,
about to
but,
get
I
worse.
mean-
Yoink.
It's a good, I just woke up and I am fucking falling out of a plane
Yeah.
face. And The Rock just goes, you're welcome, and pulls the chute for
Yeah.
him.
And the plane crashes and
Yeah.
they land.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sift through the wreckage.
and there's the somber moment for The Rock where he's like, sorry, George.
Yeah. And then he's like, where's the body? And then he immediately tracks it. It went that way. He's all right.
He's hurt, but he's all right.
Yeah. And then this is just, they have to wait around to get rescued. So this is
Yeah.
when The Rock just gets to be sad. And it's just backstory.
And gives his backstory on how he found him because of poachers, and he was hiding under the Jeep.
Watching his mother get murdered by machetes.
yeah.
Yeah, because they wanted her hands for ashtrays.
Sure.
So
And he's a rare albino gorilla.
yeah,
And
but,
she-
she goes, "What happened to the poachers?" And he goes, "They shot at me. They missed. I didn't."
I shot at them.
I didn't.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, you killed the men. That's, and I was the one in prison. Well, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. But then, Jeffrey Dean Morgan has found a radio and also rations so he can
Yeah.
eat through his distress calls.
yeah. And she also gives her backstory that, oh, my brother was sick. This
Yeah.
research was supposed to help cure whatever he had. And then it turns out they're weaponizing it behind my back. And once I found out, I tried to destroy everything, but I didn't do it quick enough. Security got to me before I got to delete the last thing.
Yep. And then the helicopters show up and take them to the
Military base.
Yeah, where they're running ops. And this is where they find out that the Wolf and George have teamed up.
Yeah.
And they're just running to Chicago
They're hanging
together.
out. Well, first they're hanging out in the quarry because like we got them cornered in the quarry, and we're gonna shoot them because they do the cool like night vision,
Yeah.
Call of Duty overhead shot of like, all right, you're good for a kill shot, and big rounds and everything, and then they send in the dudes, and you get the like on the ground night vision,
Oh, yeah.
and it's
Until
like,
literally all of those dudes get wrecked
Yeah.
immediately.
and then there's this guy, the radio guy, is eventually just like, they're
Nah.
all gone.
I was
Now-
really hoping for some
now-
AC-130 action on this.
Yeah, the Colonel dude, like he gets a real like hero reveal shot
He
too.
does too.
And I
yeah.
recognize
No
him, but I
idea
don't know
who this
where
guy is.
from.
For half a second, I was like, oh, it's Courtney B. Vance. Awesome. And then it was like, oh, wait, no, it's not.
not,
and
yeah.
then it was just like, why did he get that hero shot?
Yeah.
That's why.
I looked him up and I'm like, you've been in some things, but like not enough to get like the cool reveal shot.
There's a lot of people that were in this that were in San Andreas as well.
Sure.
Maybe.
It's just one of those like,
Why not?
Okay, but anyway,
Maybe they like
Cast
buy
who
one,
you
get
know.
one half off.
Yeah.
and then
And they just, your reward is a hero shot.
it's the standard like who are you, why are you talking kind of thing. And it's like these are the only two people that can answer your question here,
Right.
Colonel. And
And
it's
then
like
he's like,
I'm not listening to you. Get him out of here.
yeah. However, meanwhile, at the headquarters of the organization of whatever, the evil people, the FBI has shown up, and they're gonna,
Enzyme.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
yeah, but the FBI has shown up, and of
Sees
course,
all the things.
and of course, Malin Ackerman's like, oh yeah, we'll help you out. Meanwhile, other dude is like, oh fuck, the FBI's here. I don't want to go to jail.
He's
over, man.
drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
And she's just like, are you all right? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, but all she does is she goes, yeah, that Naomi Harris, boy, we're still finding the evil shit she was doing.
Yeah, it's a real sad thing that she did. Sorry about all this trouble. Sure
Yeah.
hope the monsters don't come straight here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's her fault.
Yeah.
I hope everything's okay and you find her and
We're
to his
cooperating.
credit,
We're
FBI
cooperating.
Yeah.
To his credit, FBI guy's like, nah, just take everything.
Yeah.
However, it still matters because they're basically arresting her
Yeah.
and The Rock with her for whatever fucking reason they're doing that. But
they're just like taking them away, just getting them out of the way.
I don't think they're arresting him. I think they're just like FBI wants to talk to you.
They're certainly not, because like The Rock, and he's
not in cuffs.
no, because he's just like yoink, and he goes like into an alley, and like the two MPs are like, hey, what are you doing?
We said take a left, and you went right.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, listen, here's how this is going to go down.
He's like, I was in this game. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what's about to happen.
I'm going to hit you really hard, and then I'm going to choke you out so bad that you're going to urinate on yourself. And they're just like, all right, Rock, enough of this. And he does exactly that.
Yeah.
Punches one dude real hard and chokes the other guy out. And he's like, yeah, I know it's a big arm, but just let it go. Sleep.
Let it happen.
Sleepy time.
Yeah.
Sleepy time.
And she's looking at him like, who are you? He's like, The Rock, let's go. So,
Yeah,
My
and
name is
as
Dwayne
the
The Rock Johnson.
and he's like, we need to find a chopper that's not swarming with military
military
And
dudes,
she's
which
like,
is
well,
everywhere.
there's going to be a medevac chopper somewhere around there.
and he's like, always
Yeah,
bring
always
a
bring
doctor.
a doctor.
Let's go.
Yeah, and of course they're about to get in it, and that's when Jeffrey Dean Morgan shows back up.
Hey
He's
guys,
like,
how you doing?
Hey, you guys
You know,
got away,
doing
huh?
You
his
know what
kinda-
they say about cowboys?
Yeah, assholes and buttholes.
Assholes and elbows.
Everybody's got one.
Walking around doing his kind of lean back thing, like the wind's blowing at him.
Yeah,
and-
it's just like,
Deers and beers, and let's fly this thing out of here.
yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
need these keys. Yeah,
I do like that he's like, did you really think they just leave the keys in the
like
in
a
the-
truck stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
a truck stop.
Yeah, because The Rock was like, yeah, it did seem pretty easy. Yeah,
But he's like, you saved my life. It's the least I can do.
yeah. Get out of here.
Just
you
help me
freak.
out.
Here's,
once you
here's
get
a
outta
sat
here.
phone. Keep in touch.
Yeah. Which again, I love that just
He wrote
anyone
in their yearbooks,
who is
KIT, that phone number.
anyone who's given a sat phone, like throughout the rest of this movie, The Rock is just like, all right, call Jeffrey Dean Morgan on the sat phone, and she's like, got it, and it's just like, how would you know, like, what fucking thing to dial?
He wrote KIT
No.
and then the phone number in their yearbook
That
when
was
they
in
were
the
leaving.
helicopter that
Yeah,
went.
have
bad.
Signed in their
Summer.
crack.
Yeah.
Some in the front, some in the back. You know what they say about cowboys? They always sign in the crack.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
JDM,
so
yeah.
they go to
Yeah.
take off, and of course, like, The Rock's a little rusty at flying a helicopter, so it's making weird grindy noises.
How does The Rock know how to fly? You know how
Special
The Rock.
forces.
Special forces.
You don't just get to know how to fly a
You
helicopter.
learn how to fly a helicopter, and then you can
A
fly any helicopter.
I have a question for you, BJ.
Yes.
Is he the Rock?
Yes.
There's
That's-
your fucking answer.
Well, that's why
All right?
I was beginning to stop myself when
Oh.
you guys interrupted with jokes. But yes, he's The Rock, so he gets to fly a helicopter.
Yeah.
At least they made him like not perfect at it.
At first,
He had to
For 9 seconds.
he had to warm back up to it.
For
Yeah.
9
he just had to let the rotor spin just a
Yeah.
little bit
He had-
more.
He had just a little bit of ring rust.
Yeah, just
Yes.
a little.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh God.
but
So they go to Chicago and they get there, and I'm like, the timeline's not matching up because there's smoke and fire everywhere. Already.
that was weird. Yeah, it, like already
But-
Chicago had been attacked, and you're like, when?
Yeah, because Jeffrey Dean Morgan calls them and is like, yeah, they tried to kill him, and it didn't work.
Didn't work, and they're on their
Just
way.
like you said, it didn't work.
They must have been closer to Chicago than we thought in that
guess.
quarry.
Oh, they said it was like right outside.
30
They-
miles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean,
Yeah, they're giant
Yeah,
kaiju running around. So yeah,
but man,
but yeah,
this is when shenanigans kick
Yeah,
in.
this is when you're
Oh, this
getting
is when
what you
shenanigans
what
kick
you
in.
showed up to the movie for.
Yeah.
is these things jumping around on the side of buildings, smashing them.
oh god, like the wolf just jumps up and grabs a helicopter out of the sky and flings it with its mouth, and then like George, like kind of steps on a truck like it's a skateboard and flips it up in the air and grabs it and then just punches another helicopter with it.
Yep.
they're picking up military Humvees like they're Matchbox cars
Yeah.
and hucking them at each other.
Yeah.
It's great.
And at one point, there's like a golden retriever barking at the wolf, and the wolf growls at it. The golden retriever's like, "Nah,
Yep.
bye."
Now, I will say, this is the point where there were a couple things like obviously this is where you're going to get any and all references to the game.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The things that they didn't do is I mean, they showed shots where they were punching into the building, reaching in and like eating shit.
Yes.
But I was really expecting like a Pacific Rim style, like the thing sliding and then ding, the
Oh right,
I was expecting like some kind of weird
Thing sliding in the ding.
Well, all right, so there's the bird on the seagull, like in the Pacific Rim shot where it gets real slow. And
it's
like,
the balls, the things.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
The
in
Newton's
the first,
cradle?
Yeah, It's like the fist comes through and just taps the first ball, and it sets the thing off.
Right.
There's
Oh,
no.
okay,
No,
okay,
this
yeah,
movie
yeah.
is just fucking wreck.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
kind of shot where it's like, crazy action and it gets real micro and it's like it taps something ding. But I was expecting like this shot where there would be a lady showering.
Right.
Because remember there was always like the lady showering. And I was
Or
I was
guy
kind
in
of
a bathtub.
I was kind of expecting that, like like hand comes in and like grabs her or something like that.
No.
There was that, and then also like I guess you could say the whatever the hell you ate that like breathe fire,
Yeah.
some stupid reason for them to do that.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm just saying like
Yeah.
the
But
couple
they do
couple-
punch and
I've-
just
I've-
eat things that they're pulling out of buildings,
Right.
and they're
Yeah.
punching the fuck out of buildings. And
I was trying to think of what that was that you grabbed. I could never really make it out in the game, but yeah.
it just looked like a red plant of some kind.
maybe a
but-
pepper.
Sure.
Yep.
Maybe a pepper.
And no newspaper that announces everything.
Yeah.
Getting
Oh,
smashed.
man.
Oh, a spitting newspaper would have been pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway, like
Newspapers
I
are
said, little tiny touches
Sure.
of like But I mean, there is a shot where they're just like hanging on a building, punching in and grabbing shit. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
all right, there's your Rampage thing.
Yeah.
But
But
like they're just hovering over the city in this helicopter, like, okay, people are getting out, but not fast enough. So, and then they just land like right in front of the building, and are just like, okay, let's go, let's go get the evidence because,
Well, all right, so-
IT guy came to Jeffrey Dean Morgan and said, "You were right, sir. They held back on one server. They didn't give it to the FBI." And he's like, "Got him." And so he calls the Rock, says, "There's one more server with the evidence. Go get it."
The ticking clock is like, so the military guys are like, we're gonna amp this up. We're gonna first we're gonna hit him with this. Okay, that didn't work. Start to enact the backup plan. But in the meantime, like send out the gunships, then send in the A-10 tank killer, the Warthog and everything, which is fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But like, so all this stuff is like, it's just not working, and they're just swatting them down like that's nothing. And the backup is like, we're gonna set off a MOAB, the mother of all bombs kind of thing.
Yep.
Well,
In
to
the
which
middle
Jeffrey
of downtown-
Dean Morgan's like,
in
"You're
downtown
gonna-
Chicago.
You're gonna do that on American soil.
You're going to drop the largest conventional weapon that's ever been produced on
Yeah.
American soil.
Because he's like, "How about this? How about we help the guys who are there and
Yeah,
maybe."
he's like, I got a team who might be able to get the cure out. And he's like, would your team be those two assholes who escaped us earlier? He's
Stole my medevac helicopter, and he's like, "Yep,
like, he's like,
assholes and buttholes." And
yeah.
But there's also this it's main plot, really. They have decided or discovered that there's got to be a cure for it that they have at the the building. So they're also looking for that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they're going to
because
try to
she's
find
like,
a cure.
they're evil, but they wouldn't.
they would not have
They
a
wouldn't
cure.
have it, yeah.
There's some reason they are drawing these animals straight to their building. They're not that stupid, are they?
Yes.
They must have a plan. Because, like,
No.
she has explained to her goofy brother, like, she's like, "How would you stop these monsters if you could?" And he was like, "I don't know, a chill pill." She's like, "That's right. We have a chill pill, and we're going to give it to them, and that's how they're going to calm down." And he's like, "Duh, okay." So, obviously, there's a thing.
Yeah, and all it does not like reverse the growth or any of that. It just
Stops
shuts off the aggression.
Yeah, just gets them to chill out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
that's there's our ticking clock. Is like if they don't hurry up, they're going to drop
The
the big
Moab
ass,
is gonna
they're
take
going
'em
to
out.
like, and they say kind of offhandedly like we've evacuated roughly 50% of downtown Chicago, so there's still a whole bunch of civilians and
Yeah.
obviously all the
every
urban
5 feet,
damage
the
and
Rock is
everything.
like, "There's still people here."
yeah
Because,
So-
it's Chicago.
yeah. So they've got this ticking clock of like it's going to kill a bunch of people and level the city if we let them drop this bomb here. So we got to stop this our way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So eventually they're like, quick, get to the they land and like
Right in
there's
front of the building, get right in.
get up to the 85th floor.
Yeah, the Rock just defenestrates.
Somehow she keeps thinking that her thumbprint is going to get her in rooms.
Yeah, I don't know why
despite
she.
being visibly fired. Like,
2 years earlier,
like
and also in
serving
federal jail.
time.
Yeah.
after her firing.
Yeah,
type.
she acts annoyed, like, "Oh, they took out my thumbprint." Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a reason you're not in the
Habit, maybe?
system.
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, so
But yeah, they're why is it not here? And then she's like, "Oh, I can hack through the smart thermostat.
Yeah.
It's still why
I can get to the server through the Nest.
Everything's still
Yeah,
connected.
this is Linux or Unix. I know this.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thermostat you've ever seen. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
bigger than an iPad.
Yeah, it's like an iPad Pro. It's like, man, this is a sweet thermos. It like took up all the real estate in the freezer.
I just love that she hacks through all of it. She's like, all this leads to her going, they deleted everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing here.
yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
and then
But,
she's basically like,
it gives Malin Ackerman and her goofy brother
Well,
time
they
to
also
discover that they're there.
like it's going to be in a thing called this. Dig through everything. And Rock's like, I think I found it.
yeah,
And
it's,
just
just like, it's gonna be
First
called
thing
RPG.
he looks at is
Okay.
like, oh, there it is.
Yeah,
I fucking love this part because she has to put on the thick cryogenic glove to lift the thing out.
Yep.
And then she reaches in and pulls the things out with her bare hand.
yes. I was like, what the fuck? fuck?
Like, your hand is going to shatter, Naomi Harris. What have you done?
I didn't. Man, I saw that and was just like, really? Like, no one on set was like, her other hand.
Yeah.
Like, second unit couldn't come in and just put a glove on a hand and
I mean,
pull
to
that.
be fair, it could have been sitting in liquid nitrogen, which the second you take something out of it is like going to heat up like really quick.
The problem is not that. So the problem isn't the substance it's in. If it's in liquid nitrogen, sure, it'll evaporate quickly.
Right.
The problem is the thing that she grabs onto is going to be negative 370 whatever degrees.
I know, but I'm saying it's gonna warm up like. I mean, it's gonna be cold. Sure, yes, it's still dumb.
She
I'm not
didn't
defending
even react.
it.
She just full-handed grabbed like all the cures she could hold,
Yeah.
and they just turn
It's-
around.
It's not wise.
No, it's
No,
It is not wise.
It's just...
It may give you immediate frostbite.
It could.
You
it's
could
one
get
of those
lucky and it
dumb
won't.
things that,
Yeah.
It is.
you know,
It's-
that I
yeah.
noticed
It's
for
gonna
some
go in the
reason.
goofs
Yeah,
section.
that'll be
Goofs.
100% in the goof section.
I
But-
put it in the goose 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but anyway, she gets the cure
Yeah,
out, like
and they-
like 6 or 7 vials of it, and puts it in her jacket
And then,
pocket,
yeah.
and then they turn around and
They're
there's
there, like with the, the Weasley guy's got the gun.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
and The Rock is like,
well, yeah,
I'm not going with you.
They turn over the stuff.
Yeah, and they're
and
like,
then
come
they're
on,
like,
come with
"You're
us.
coming with us," and he's like, "That's not happening."
Not happening.
And,
So she's
and of
like-
course, because he's nervous dweeby guy, she's like, "Give me the gun."
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole like long like turn the gun down, gun safety first, hand
Yeah.
it over there. And I'm totally expecting the Rock to be like, "Here's my move."
Yeah,
Punch
just,
going-
just like knock her ass
Yeah.
out. But
But
no.
no.
I expected him to size up that dude and just be like, he's not going to shoot anything, just grab, but no.
Yeah,
he-
I figured he'd still have the safety on or
sure,
something. you know.
anything.
Or do something Rock cool and like throw something into the barrel of the gun.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
But
no.
no, but she shoots the rock.
She does, yes.
In the stomach.
It's kind of a
in the side.
In the side.
yeah.
I would say in the love handle, but it's the rock, and that's
Yeah.
not what the rock has.
Yeah.
I think there's only appendix over there, really.
Yeah,
Well,
there's just
it
skin
don't
and muscle.
matter.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
like the movie's like, well, the Rock's dead. Let's go up to the roof and finish
Which-
this movie.
We all know.
Sure, we know.
Yeah, we all.
It makes
We've
sense.
seen a movie before.
It makes sense they would shoot his appendix out because nothing needs any explaining.
No, no.
Yeah. So they take her up to the roof.
Yep, they
And
just
they're like,
monologue at her and just like, come on, roof time. You're gonna get to watch everything go bad because it's going bad all around us as
Yeah.
we're up here.
Why did they?
As
I-
George makes it to the top.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just punching the fuck out of the antenna.
Yeah.
He
Just
also fucks up the
There's an escape helicopter,
there's an escape helicopter that he fucks up.
and I'm pretty sure he flings the pilot a million miles.
Oh yeah,
away.
that pilot got it wrong. Because he got
really
chucked from
fun ride
the
down.
top of the Sears Tower
Yeah.
Yeah.
to wherever the hell he got
He's
flung
in the
to.
arms of the angels.
Yes.
Right.
He,
Literally threw him
Sweet
into the
release.
distress.
and he broke them as he came by.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But but and then out of nowhere, The Rock saves Naomi Harris as she's about to get smashed by something.
That happens a lot.
Yep.
He knocks her out of the way, like first of like George's cage when he's busting out. Like he tackles her out of the way of a whole bunch of things.
He's
in
a
this movie.
bullet shield for her in the helicopter or in the plane
But yes.
segment.
But he's like, yeah, I'm fine. That kind of hurts, and I think she missed all the vital organs. But fine.
yeah,
fine.
Let's
he's-
not push it.
he acts totally fine for pretty much the rest of the movie, and it's almost not until the end that you even see the bullet wound.
Yeah.
Like they don't even show it, and when they do, it's just this comical little splatter of blood, and you're like, was it a BB gun? Like what did they shoot you with? But yeah, he's just like, bullets, nah, I'm the Rock.
One bullet is
I'm
not
surprised he
gonna
didn't
stop
just
the Rock.
flex and push the bullet out of himself.
That'd have been so good.
He might have. You didn't see it.
That's true.
Deleted scene.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah, but they spend a lot of time up on the roof because he's like, okay, we gotta. So this stuff will shut off his aggression, but
Yeah.
how do we get it inside him?
and she's like, I still got one. You know? So
Yeah.
And I honestly still don't remember them shooting him with it. Did they?
No,
They did
what
not.
happens
Oh, no,
is
yeah.
they.
well, so the
Malin-
brother has skedaddled off the roof and has gone
Yeah.
back downstairs.
Yeah, he freaked out.
I know
and
why.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just pieced it together how he actually got it in
Yes.
his system.
Yeah, because Malin Ackerman corners them and is like, "Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'm evil. You fuck things up."
Yeah. You ruined my brilliant plan. as the building is
Which it should be
falling
noted,
around.
her escape gear is she's managed to don the brightest of red dresses.
Oh, she's like Cruella de Vil all of a sudden. It's just like, let me put on my hot evil dress.
Well, if you are a fan of the Rampage video game,
I know.
you
I
all know
The-
why
the
she's
The
gone.
second
Yeah.
she showed up wearing that, it was like, that's the most ridiculous. Oh,
yeah. It's like, what the fuck are you? Oh my god.
Retraction. That is the most appropriate outfit.
Yeah.
And for those that have not played Rampage, we will explain right now
Yeah.
why the red dress matters.
Okay.
Well,
Because
like,
you bash open a building,
She's kind of monologuing to the Rock and everything, like, I can't. How you? She's about like ready to shoot him again, and the Rock goes, "Hey George, hey George," and yeah, he turns around and is like, "What?" And then, "Oh, you."
Yeah, smashes a few things. Naomi Harris basically puts the antidote on her
In
In
her
her
purse.
purse.
in her purse,
Which
and
she
then-
luckily clutches the entire way.
and shoves her as George grabs her, and she goes, "It's time to feed the monster to the monkey."
Yep.
As George grabs her, lifts her up, and we get a shot, like a crane straight down shot of him dropping Malin Ackerman into his giant maw, and her going, "Oh fuck," which is a poorly executed effect, but it's still kind of hilarious.
It's not great. Like, she just kind of disappears.
Because she just kind of falls butt first into
Yeah.
his mouth and gets chomped on, which isn't great, but at least she got a rough death.
Yeah.
It's a good ending.
Which
for her.
immediately right after this, which, then he's eating her and is still just like, man, fuck this antenna, and going nuts. Meanwhile, the
But I think we failed to explain the red dress thing,
okay, the red dress.
which is in Rampage the video game. Like half of the women in whatever building you're bashing up are wearing this weird red dress.
No,
If you,
the red
if you
dress
needed
lady-
more health.
Yeah, the red dress lady would come out, and she was like extra health if you ate her.
Yeah.
Oh, was
That's
she
what-
extra
yeah.
health? Oh,
Yeah,
she
she
was
was like a
extra
special
health.
character that came out, and you was like, "Oh, the
That's-
lady in the red,
oh,
Yeah,
grab
you
her."
would, you would immediately jump off the building and try to grab her
I
to get more
apologize.
health. But
That's
yes,
right. Now I remember jumping and pressing
I mean,
down.
she,
and
no,
punch.
she was in the building, but you punch. She was in a random window. You punch it,
That's
she'd
right.
fall,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, "Oh shit, red dress lady, lots of health. Go grab her."
Yeah.
yeah, that's what.
Yeah, but so she was just a staple of getting eaten in the Rampage video game. So
Yep.
Now a major motion picture.
yes,
But
yeah, but
I-
the brother has gone
I
downstairs.
didn't even piece it together that by eating Malin Ackerman, that's how he gets the
Yes.
cure stuff.
Because she clutches her purse
Right.
the entire way into his mouth.
Right.
Yep.
So, but the building the Sears Tower is now collapsing.
Not yet.
Not yet.
The
because
brother goes down to
brother
the
goes
lobby.
is down, and
Well,
Jeffrey Dean
okay,
Morgan's down there, and he's like,
He's
well,
Jason in this movie because he's just wherever he needs to be.
Yeah, he's like, well, goddamn, did
Look
you
at
run
you."
down 85 flights of stairs?
I was going to climb up 85 stairs just to rescue you, but here you are.
Yeah. He's like, you look a little disheveled. And then for the rest of the scene, the guy's like straightening himself up. Like, I'm sorry. I will prepare myself to look better
Yeah,
for you.
and he basically makes a deal with him. He's like, I know you just want to get out of here. How about you give me
Skedaddle.
that?
You got a laptop in that there bag, don't you?
How about you give me that there laptop?
Yeah.
And I'll
he-
just,
and
I'll
that
just
rat.
let you go.
Let me take that
Yeah.
rat, too.
So, yeah, she has tasked the brother to carry around this lab rat the whole time, which he has been doing. Like, wherever they're escaping to, he's carrying around this rat in a cage.
Her pet rat, maybe?
Something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It is.
But, so, yeah, he's got it, and he's got this giant bag, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan is like, give me your laptop, and you give me that rat,
Well,
too.
the rat's an afterthought because he's also kind of said
Rat for thought.
because he's also said like I understand why you're an animal person. I'm an animal person
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And so like he's like so the way this scene plays is pretty good because Jeffrey Dean Morgan's looking outside and there's debris
A little
falling
bit.
from.
He sees people running by and
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
rocks falling.
And
Yeah,
he's
but,
like-
but as he gives him the rat, he gets one last moment to be shitty where he goes, I hated that thing anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying like he's like. Give me the laptop and you could just walk on out of here because he knows what's going to happen. And the guy's like, oh yeah, sure, absolutely. I just want to live. And he's like, give me the rat too. Like he's like, thank you, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I've always
And
hated
he goes,
that
it
thing.
was all her idea.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, bye bye now.
And
the
man,
dude walks out like 2 feet out and just like giant stone slab. Slap.
Yeah.
and it just splatters him all over the glass door. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan gets a great reaction again where he goes, oh, god damn.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
And he just goes, I think I'm taking the other exit.
Yeah. He's like, I'll go over this way. And then he heads hurriedly to the next place where he needs to magically appear from.
But yes, the Sears Towers is now collapsing. The Rock and Naomi Harris are still up on top.
It's about to collapse.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
teetering.
momentarily going to collapse.
Because George and Ralph are up on the roof just still fucking with it. Meanwhile, the alligator is fucking just plowing through the building.
He's climbing up the building and also climbing through it out to the other side, then climbs up and through.
Yeah, so eventually you see it buckle. And so they're just like, we're going to die. And he's like, no, there's still a helicopter. And she's like, but it has no tail.
Yeah.
And he's like, we don't need it.
We don't need to fly. We needed to crash.
And she's like, what? And he's like, let's do this.
He goes, have you ever rode? It's just like riding an avalanche. And she's like, I've never ridden an avalanche.
Doesn't he say like staying just in front of an avalanche? Or maybe it is riding an avalanche.
He goes, it's just like riding an avalanche.
Yeah, and she's like, what?
Yeah.
No.
But yes, they proceed to fire up this helicopter and basically hover just over the building as it's collapsing.
Yeah, it teeters over and falls, and this thing is just spinning out of control.
Eventually, yeah, because like the tail is crushed on the building, so like they're just hovering just above the building as it's collapsing, and just the last second it lets the helicopter go, and it just of course it has no control, and just spins and crashes.
Auto rotate to the ground.
Yeah, and the building crashes, and there's a cloud of dust, and then you see a
debris.
You see a crashed helicopter, and they just get out of it like, huh, that was a thing.
Can't believe we survived that.
Yep.
She actually says that. Yeah. The Rock, of course, now has been shot, crashed a plane, or jumped out of a plane, crashed a helicopter, has just been thrown all over the place, but he's still pretty much okay.
Yeah, because he's The Rock.
Yeah. And so he kind of looks around and is like, man, there's more people here. You really need...
Well, what happens is...
Well, he wakes up and he's like, all right, so he's like, I guess we defeated the creatures because the building fell on him.
Right.
You know, he's like, Naomi Harris, take that Humvee over there, get to a sat phone and call off the mob.
Yes.
Moab.
Well,
Moab Deep.
Yeah.
But before he sends her off, George wakes up. And
I thought George woke up after he sent her off.
No, they're both there.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's there. But he wakes up, and then The Rock's like, okay.
He's like, oh,
He's
no.
still- but George, you can tell his eyes aren't all red and angry.
Yeah.
And he
And
looks,
he's- and he's signing.
he looks kind of scared, and he does the sign language at them, and they have
like,
a
"You okay?"
conversation,
Yeah.
and that's when he sends Naomi Harris out. He's like, all right, call off the Moab. I'm gonna have George kill these fuckers.
Yeah, me and George are going to take care of business, and he's loaded up the grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Daddy's got to go to work.
Daddy's got to go to work for the 5th time in this movie.
Yep.
But yes, and the other two wake up, and it's George and The Rock versus the two monsters.
It's just The Rock green screen Adventure Time because it is.
Oh, yeah.
He is literally the only human being in the rest of the movie. This segment of it, so
Yeah.
it's just him in a studio somewhere shouting
And jumping on things.
Yeah, and just
These are the kind of scenes like I just don't even know how you film them. You know, like how do you keep a human in perspective in any of these shots?
Like anytime I see a behind the scenes Marvel thing, and you just see that everything is just green, and you're just like, how?
There's a guy with a stick.
Yeah, but it's just like how are
runs
you?
around.
Well, for some reason, like people love posting the DC TV shows
Yeah.
before the effects, and I'm like, yeah, what do you expect? Do you not understand? Like they're like, look how goofy this shit is. I'm like, yeah. I mean,
everything
is
before
goofy when
put
you take the effects
in.
away. But
Yeah.
like people love like these ones of like the Flash is going, all right, flash arms. You know, I'm creating lightning things, and it's just the actor going.
Of course, that's what it is.
Yeah, like,
He's
yeah,
not really
yeah.
doing it, you guys.
I don't know why. It's just like I don't know why they keep like letting these behind the scenes shots go, and it's like, guys, you know, you're not helping
Yeah.
yourselves.
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't that I find amusing and also don't understand is how and this is why I guess they get paid money to do this. How you just act in that space. Besides, okay, there's a ball on the stick. I know where to look. But when you're just surrounded by fucking green,
Yeah. Like, how do you know, just volume and motivation? And
I guess a director and actor
it
work
has
together
to be pretty
make
well
that
mapped
happen.
out. Yeah.
That's why
But-
some people are better at it, like Doug Jones, and like the
Yeah.
mocap people that are like really good at that. Like,
Yeah.
that's why they get known for this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but-
anyway, this is basically kaiju battle
Sure.
where it's the wolf and the alligator versus the Rock and the gorilla.
And he baits the wolf to he's fighting the wolf, and then George throws the wolf. George just becomes Deus Ex Machina 8 times during this finale of just uh-oh, something's gonna kill the Rock. Oh, George is here. George will throw the wolf aside, and then all of a sudden the wolf is like, I've got wings, motherfucker. And the Rock is like,
Yeah.
of course the wolf has wings. The wolf can fly.
It's like
Because they made some
Goddamn flying
comment early
squirrel.
on that she was obsessed with giving everything a touch of bat DNA or something. It was
Yeah.
just all of them have to have this for some reason. So
Oh, for the sonar echolocation
yeah,
or something.
so that's why also the wolf has
Sure.
a
But-
wingsuit.
But yeah, so eventually he tricks
Also that-
he tricks the wolf into getting hit by the alligator.
Yeah.
And
He
the
tricks
alligator-
it. He just like, come at me, wolf, and the wolf does and jumps into the mouth of the gator.
And the gator decapitates it.
Yeah. The gator just
Rips
like
its head off.
Man, I don't give a fuck.
And eats the head.
Yeah. Yeah.
That gator is fucking huge compared to the other two, though.
Yeah.
It's like
It's the big bad.
Yeah, as we said, because it ate the entire canister
Yeah.
instead of just getting a whiff.
Yeah.
the wolf is like 30 feet, 40 feet long,
Yeah.
bigger than a bus, smaller than a mountain somewhere.
Yeah.
The alligator is like
Godzilla.
150,
Like the wolf also
200
has
feet long. It's
yeah,
huge.
but the wolf also has like porcupine spikes on it that it
Yeah.
has
It can shoot,
used to
yeah.
throw at the helicopters at one point.
Yeah,
I'm really
it did take
sad
out
he-
that one helicopter.
Really sad that they only used that once. I thought that would have been
Yeah.
a nice shot to, like, I don't know. He shoots them at the rock, but George gets in the way, and there's like a silhouette of George behind him.
And the alligator is so mutated, it's almost like Anguirus, which is Godzilla kaiju, which has like the
Sure.
spiky tail and all of this. Because like alligators don't have a spiky tail, but
Yeah.
this has like a big ball spiky tail.
Yeah.
Like one of them dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And also tusks. It has tusks now.
Yeah, it does. And at one point, George rips one of them out and is
It just starts
stabbing
stabbing
it.
him with it.
Yeah. So, yeah, this just becomes like George and the alligator battle for a while. George gets fucked up. The thing is like, now time to kill the Rock. The Rock says, oh shit. Gets a gun, makes gun face, shoots the thing a bunch. It doesn't do anything. George shows up to save the day.
Yeah.
Repeat that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, he eventually gets in a chopper as George gets roughed up pretty bad.
George gets spiked.
That's right.
Impaled.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets impaled on this, building
Building girders,
through the
yeah.
heart.
And so the Rock gets in a crashed helicopter, which
Yeah.
has a minigun and missile launchers.
Yes.
And empties the minigun with the gun face.
Oh, God.
Launches-
just
yeah.
screaming.
Yeah, launches the all of the missiles at once into
Yeah.
this thing's face.
That's when we get the don't hurt my friend, motherfucker.
yeah.
So they show this like hero shot of the Rock walking up to this. It's an Apache, and he's walking up to it, and
He jumps on it.
They seem
he jumps
to,
on it.
No.
Yes. They seem to focus on like the missile pod. It's got
Yeah.
one of those little Hellfire missile pods on the side, little. And I'm like, oh fuck, the Rock's gonna walk over, kick this missile pod off,
Yep.
and then
Shoulder mounted.
like put it on his shoulder and fire all the missiles. He's gonna like gun face real good,
Yeah.
or he's gonna rip the turret off and hold the fucking giant cannon on the front of the or something.
It's-
And no, he just hops in it and he's
Yeah.
like clicking buttons, doo-pa-doo-pa-doo, and then gives the really good gun face,
Yeah.
but he's really straining, and you just pull the trigger, you just make it.
Yeah,
go
but he's
click.
angry.
He is.
He wants to anger push the bullets out.
But I think he would have it's the Rock. He probably would have just crushed that flight stick in his hand.
As stupid as this movie is during all of its action stuff, I had to keep telling myself this is not a Fast 5 movie. Because like the things that I was writing in my head would have fit in a Fast 5. Like him just ripping that thing off and putting it on his shoulder, making no sense whatsoever, and just firing all the rockets at the thing would have fit right in a Fast 5 movie.
Well, that was basically what he did in
Furious 7.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, where he just ripped the Gatling gun
Just
off the
ripped
helicopter.
machine gun, yeah.
It was the drone. Yeah, he took
Okay,
the
oh,
minigun
yeah,
from
the
the drone.
drone,
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to be a bit more realistic in the giant monster movie.
Oh, sure.
He just got in.
Oh, sure,
He just
Chuck.
got in the helicopter and used
Yeah.
it properly.
But it didn't work.
no, it didn't.
Yeah, and he ends up getting pinned inside a building where this thing's just trying to smash away the building to get at biting him.
Yep.
And George, once again, in a hero shot, comes jumping up from behind with the thing that had spiked him removed from him,
Yeah.
and he ends up stabbing it through the eye.
Yeah.
That's a
Killing
really
it.
cool shot when. So it changes from sort of like the hero shot of George and becomes a perspective shot of
Yeah.
him falling down onto the gator, and the gator turns its head and swivels its eye up to look at George,
Yeah.
and it kind of narrows its eye slit.
Yeah, because it had done that to The Rock, because The Rock at one point thought he defeated it by taking an entire bundle of grenades and throwing
That's
it in the
right.
thing's ear.
It's-
He just
yeah.
threw it in its ear, and it went off.
Gil, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I don't know, but like it fell over, and The Rock was like, yeah, fucking beat you. And
Yeah,
then
I think it was a gill because it had like those fringes that would flare out.
Yeah.
So
But like when it got
its
back up,
DNA was fucked.
it did the Jurassic
neck
Park thing
giant.
of just like look right at him with its one eye when it narrowed, and The Rock was just like, oh shit.
Lizzie, by the way, no one has been referring to this.
That's
No one
because
says
the
it.
movie
No one in
didn't
the game
refer
did.
to it as Lizzie.
Or in the movie,
Yes.
nobody said
All right,
Lizzie.
just throwing
No one
out.
said it.
Yes,
But
you are
yes.
correct. It is Lizzie.
Yes.
However, the movie does not respect that.
Right.
They didn't have time. The wackos on the internet didn't have time
Yeah.
to give her
They'd
an
been underwater the whole time.
No one knew it was there until it showed up in Chicago, and by then the wackos on the internet were too busy running for their lives.
Yeah, so they win.
They do.
Yeah.
And George proceeds to stumble over and apparently die, and The Rock gets sad. Naomi Harris runs back and also gets sad, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan rocks back and also gets sad.
Yep.
And
And then George kind of twitches, and The Rock is like, "Did you just shut your eye?" And then he kind of opens his eyes. You just opened your eye. You're pretending to be dead.
then he flips him off.
Flips him. He's like, he's just slowly coming back to life. Just flips him off, and The Rock's like, "You son of a bitch." That's not funny. And it's George's sign, and I'm like, "You were crying." I wasn't crying. Shut up.
He also asked if Naomi Harris is part of the tribe or whatever, or the group, and he's like, "Yeah, she's part
She's
of
a
the
friend.
group."
You're a friend,
Yeah,
right?
a friend. And then the monkey does the finger in the hole.
He's like, yeah, do it. And he's like, no, stop it. Yeah.
yeah, it's as dumb as you're expecting it to
Yeah.
be.
And they kind of
But-
just pull back out of the wreckage and then just rampage on screen.
Yeah, and they're basically just like, we're gonna have to find a new home for George, aren't we?
And
he's like,
for
well,
Chicago.
yeah, but yeah, and he's like, well, but all I know is we're not putting him on a plane again.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha. Freeze frame high five.
Rampage.
Yeah. I do love all the Sears Tower has just fallen. 3 kaijus
Yeah,
have just
this
battled
is-
it out. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan and her just pull up in a Humvee right to where The Rock is, and just
Yep.
like, hey, buddy.
Well, they know because that's where it fell, and that's
Yeah.
and there was still noise there. So
And again, the director just must have been in love with Jeffrey Dean Morgan reaction shots because, like, the monkey doing all like the flicking him off, they cut to Jeffrey Dean Morgan going,
Yeah. Like, yes, he's good.
I mean, it's kind of
it's
you get a lot of mileage out of that.
Yeah.
Get a lot of mileage out of Jeffrey Dean Morgan in this movie, especially if you're not already tired of Negan. I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was my advantage.
I
I guess.
too, yeah.
No. I mean, it's fun in this movie. You know, he's probably the most fun character, to be totally
Yeah.
honest.
If they had made this movie 20 years ago, that would absolutely have been Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, yeah. When he
100%.
first showed up, I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, here's Tommy Lee Jones.
Right. Here's
Yeah.
Tommy Gene Morgan.
Yeah.
But I was surprised they did not heel turn him because I figured, like,
When he took the laptop and the other thing, I was like, oh, he's not really
he's
government.
going to
He's-
use the formula on the laptop to convert that rat into his own special project. I
Right.
figured, like,
They're-
the last shot would be him in a lab somewhere, like, all right, rat, let's fucking do this.
They're going to save that for Rampage 2.
Yeah.
I want them to make Rampage 2. I'm just going to
Yeah.
say, I want fucking Rampage 2.
Yeah. Rampage
and
World Tour.
World Tour, yeah.
Yeah, let's do this.
We're going to find out that there were actually 5 capsule things or something.
Where the rat survived from space.
Yeah,
The
the space
rats are-
rat
yes.
re-entered.
The rat survives with from space. Then
Or it's just in space. Like, the rat made it over
Right.
to the International
Yes.
Space Station and just
Yes.
fucking shit up over there.
Rampage 2, rat entry.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
And then
Christophe
and then
Lambert's
Jeffrey
in it.
Dean Morgan has also genetically engineered his rat, and they have a rat team, and they have to George versus the
Yeah.
rat.
Rat Team
the tag
6.
team rats.
Yeah,
Rampage, Ratatouille.
rat off rat. If The Rock doesn't go rat-a-tat-tat, motherfucker.
How about that?
Well, it's not going to be The Rock. It's going to be like
Ice Cube.
no.
Who replaced him in The Walking Tall? Was it fucking Hercules?
Kevin Sorbo?
Yeah, I think Kevin
God.
Sorbo
Don't wish
was
that
in the
on
direct-to-TV, the direct-to-video Walking Tall sequel. I'm just saying that's what happened.
No.
That didn't happen.
Who do we
Terry Crews.
replace The Rock with then?
Terry
Terry
Crews.
Crews?
Nobody.
No.
Well, if you can't bring The Rock back, I'm saying. I'm giving you alternates. Terry Crews. Terry Crews needs a fucking starring vehicle.
He does. He does.
Dolph.
No.
He's too old.
Too
He's
old.
he's a PhD. He's smart.
He's too old.
He could be a primatologist.
Sure, he could.
He was Special Forces buddies with The Rock. They were anti-poachers together.
You're trying to go to Rampage 14 before we've even cast 2.
I'm trying to elevate Dolph. I'm trying to put him in a major motion picture
I'm
again.
trying to give Terry Crews a starring role before he gets too old.
Yeah.
I'll sign off on that. Terry Crews. Let's do it.
Yep.
Okay, greenlit. Let's do this.
Get his agent on the phone right now.
No,
Bearsuit Studios proudly presents Rampage 2 World Tour.
I don't think you want to get Terry Crews' agent on the phone. That's been a source of bad things.
Is Terry Crews
Doesn't he have a
agent?
new? He has to have a new agent.
That wasn't
It's
his
part of
agent
an
anyway.
agency.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't
It was not his agent.
Wasn't it? Was just an agent.
No, that was. I think it was just
He was
a
the head of an agency.
thing,
Oh,
a dude,
okay.
a
thing.
talent guy.
A thing is accurate.
Anyway,
So, do we rate it? What do we do at the end
no,
of
we
the?
don't.
No,
we
it's
just-
it's good.
we
You
just
should go.
did.
You should go see Rampage.
it's fun.
Yeah, it's dumb, but it's fun. But man,
It would get jocks if we were
Fuck
to
yes,
watch
it
it in
would.
the context of the BMFcast.
it would. Yeah.
I don't think it would be a 5 jocks movie, but it would definitely get jocks.
If I had to compare it with the other movie I saw in a theater this year, which was Pacific Rim Uprising, I would say this is a better movie than that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. All right.
Not by a lot. I mean, but this doesn't have anything to compare to. So this is just a video game movie, and it's pretty
I
good.
had higher highs in Pacific Rim 2. Sorry,
Okay.
but that's just me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure some people are going to shit all over this movie.
Oh,
though.
absolutely.
Oh,
I am.
Yeah.
No, it's 100%. It's
Yeah.
There are people on Letterboxd right now shitting all over
it is what it is. I mean, it's a good thing to know what your target audience is and what your goal is. You know, and sometimes your goal isn't to make a prestige masterpiece. Your goal is to make a giant monster smashing shit movie that still gives The Rock some agency in the action.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is. I'm going to just sort of almost directly compare it to Pacific Rim the First.
Okay.
You know exactly what you're getting into. Now, Pacific Rim is better, obviously.
Because it has an Academy Award-winning director behind it.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
this is never going to surprise you in the way that
No.
that like him picking up the battleship in fucking Pacific Rim
Yeah.
Sure,
surprises me.
There are things like that, but kind of like when you see the trailer for Pacific Rim, you know what you're getting into. Like
Oh yeah.
big monsters, big mechs. In this, you know what you're getting going into it. It's big monsters and big rock, and it doesn't disappoint in any way. Like, well, okay, it disappoints in maybe some small ways, but it doesn't disappoint.
Yeah.
It delivers exactly on its premise. Anything you get above that is gravy.
Yeah.
It's good.
I wish the whole Malin Ackerman death had been a little better executed, because she's pretty hate worthy, and it's like there was a point where like when they're going up to the roof with Naomi Harris, I'm like, that bitch is getting thrown off the building.
Yep.
That I figured that it was either that or one of the monsters was going to smash her somehow, but
She already had the red dress on. I knew what was happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or if they'd he'd maybe stuck the cure thing in her mouth and punched her, that'd have been good. And then,
I do, yeah.
And then George grabs her and just bites the top off of her.
Sure.
The top half of her. I mean, not biting
the
her
top.
Right. But we would have been pushing R. That's the only thing I think that could have possibly made this movie better as it is. Like, aside from rewriting, or changing a whole lot of things about this movie, you could have made it R and made it a little bit more not grim, just a little bit more.
There will
Well,
be
we've never
darker.
really had a rated R kaiju type movie where they've just fucking people get shredded like paper dolls. Like I don't think we've ever had anything like that.
not really.
It's always kind of large scale. Oh, the buildings are getting knocked down and they chucked a tank somewhere, but it's never like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they ripped that fucking guy in half.
right.
I mean, even Lost World did that.
Yeah.
To the guy who least deserved to die in the roughest way possible. But
Yeah. That man was a hero.
yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
He got boned by
He did.
Poor
rap-
Toby.
by
Yeah.
by T-Rexes. But anyway, like
Yeah, Richard Schiff is in Ballers with The Rock.
Yeah, he is. There you go.
to the
No.
trivia. But anyway, yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I say see it.
I also say see it.
Yes, I'll go with that. Yeah, that's our recommendations.
I say see it as soon as you can on the biggest screen in the loudest theater possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did it in XD's nuts.
Oh God.
And yeah, you're shaking.
XD fucking yells at you at the beginning like,
It does.
"This is XD, motherfucker."
That was the loudest thing I think I've ever heard in my entire life.
I appreciate knowing how loud it's going to be, because I'm always worried that I'm going to hear other people in the theater, and I just want that drowned out. I just want XD flowing over me.
Yeah,
Just
you got all of
wash over
XD's
me.
nuts in your face.
I did, yeah. Just
And there were several moments where I'm like, the theater was literally shaking.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Not D-Box. And
Yeah.
I'm like, how? I'm seriously interested in how they managed to move that much air to.
the bass is rumbling the floor, which is rumbling through the
Yeah,
seats.
but that's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Bass.
How low can you go?
that is a sincerely ludicrous amount of power and or equipment to
It's what technology was made to do.
Yeah,
It's
to
true.
create life-threatening bass.
Rock
Yes.
our headrests while we watch a rock movie.
yes, double rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway,
Yep.
Anyway,
go see Rampage. It's fucking awesome. And then once you're done seeing Rampage, go to bmfcast.com and
Our fan page.
yes, go to bmfcast.com and check out all of the links on that website and send us an email about it or tweet us at bmfcast or give us a call on the Garfield phone 910-5-JOCKS-BMF 910-556-9263. And if you appreciate this sort of extra hot ass content that we bring you, check us out at patreon.com/bmfcast and throw us a couple bucks for our trouble. Helps us pay for shit.
it does.
Thank you. That's all.
Thanks.
Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Alrighty.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is Rampage out.
Boom.
Interesting.
Boom. What?
We lost a subscriber since the start.